others regard them as the instruments or tools of divine governance. Mystics have pictured them as the 10 faces, hands, or even garments of God. All agree, however, that the Sephiroth expresses divine attribute, which from the primal moment of emanation are eternally held in a set of relationships until God wills them to vanish with the void into nothingness again. The relationships between the Sephiroth are governed by 3 unmanifest divine principles: the hidden splendors, the Zazahot of primordial will, mercy, and rigor for justice. Will holds the balance, while mercy expands and rigor constrains the flow of emanation. And so they organize the 10 divine attributes into a specific archetypal pattern. The pattern thus called forth is the model on which everything that is to come into manifestation is based. It has been named the image of God, but it is more generally known as the tree of life. Each Sephiroth in turn manifests under the influence of one of the Sahot in particular, and for this reason the flow which manifests the 10 Sephiroth can be visualized as zigzagging in a lightning flash from a central position, balance, to the right, expansion, and across to the left, constraint. Thus, the Zazahot gives rise to the 3 vertical alignments in the tree of life diagram, known as the pillars, that of equilibrium, grace, will, in the center, that of mercy, active force, expansion on the right, and that of severity, passive form, constraint on the left. The relationships set forth in a tree underlie the whole of existence, and so the properties of the Sephiroth may be seen in terms of any branch of knowledge. Thus, while their basic definition is as attributes of God, they can be defined in terms of human experience, because we too are cast in the image of God. This anthropomorphic method is common in Kabbalah as elsewhere, and is freely applied as a symbolic language in metaphysical areas, which pure abstractions cannot explain. The first Sephiroth, at the edge of the void, is called in Hebrew Keter, the crown. This manifestation contains all that was, is, and will be. It is the place of the first emanation and the ultimate return. Its nature as a divine attribute is expressed by the name of God, which is traditionally attached to it. I am that I am. From this point of equilibrium, the beam of light expands under the influence of mercy, force, and expansion to manifest second Sephiroth, that of Chokmah, wisdom. This, in the divine and human minds, is the active inner intellect, experienced by human beings as the flash of genius, inspiration, or revelation. It is balanced on the side of severity, form, and contraction by the third Sephiroth, Bina, understanding. This is intellect in its passive, receptive, and reflective capacity. In human terms, it manifests through reason and tradition. After the beam has left Bina, which heads to the pillar of severity, it touches the pillar of equilibrium below Keter, the crown. This point of balance on the tree is crucial. It is the place of Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, which hovers as a veil below the 3 supernal Sephiroth. It remains unmanifest, but it has a place within manifestation, marked on the tree by the non-Sephiroth of Da'at, knowledge. This, we are told, is where the Absolute may enter at will to intervene directly in existence, which is now eternally held until divine will allows it to vanish like the image it is. In human terms, Da'at is the knowledge that emerges out of nowhere and comes direct from God. It is quite different from the revelation of wisdom, Chokmah. Da'at is not only seen but known. It is different too from what comes of understanding, Binah, or deep pondering. Da'at, the child of the supernal Sephiroth, is not only observation, but becoming. Below Da'at flashes the pillar of mercy, expansion, and back to the pillar of severity, contraction. And a pair of Sephiroth are defined which govern the level of emotion as distinct from supernal intellect. The attribute of active or inner emotion is hesed, mercy. That of passive or outer emotion is gevura, justice. Both Sephiroths have other Hebrew names and other translated equivalents, but all are inadequate to explain the attributes. Those used here merely approximate to the active and passive divine principles involved. In ourselves, these qualities appear in complementary tendencies towards love, tolerance, and generosity. On the one hand, hesed, and discipline, rigor, and discrimination on the other, gevura. At this, the emotional level, the operation of opposing Sephirotic principles, and the dangers of going too far in one direction or the other become part of everyday experience. Justice and mercy underlie every human transaction, from a summit conference to the choice of a birthday present. The lightning flash, having passed from the expansive principle of hesed to the constrictive principle of gevura, now returns a stage lower to the pillar of equilibrium. Here is manifested the central Sephiroth of Tiferet, beauty or adornment. This lies at the heart of the tree, relating directly to all the Sephiroth of the pillars of severity and mercy. Whenever the tree diagram is applied, as it can be, to the dynamics of any organism or system, Tiferet is the heart of hearts. With the emotional Sephiroth of Hesed and Gevura, it forms the triad of the divine soul. With the higher Sephiroth of Chokmah and the Binah, it forms the great triad of the divine spirit, in the midst of which hovers the Ra'u HaKodesh. In the human psyche, Tiferet is the self, the core of the individual, which lies behind the everyday ego, the watcher, which focuses the largely unconscious influences of the higher centers of mercy and justice, Hesed and Gevura, wisdom and understanding, Chokmah and Binah. Below Tiferet, the lightning flash manifests two more complementary attributes. The lowest on the pillars of mercy and severity. On the active, expansive side is Nezah, eternity, and on the passive, constrictive side is Hod, reverberation. Traditionally, the Hebrew names of these attributes were translated as victory and splendor, but their operation as Sephiroth is better expressed by the names used here, which correspond equally well to the Hebrew roots. They belong to the operative, instrumental level of action in the structure of the tree. They traditionally correspond in divine terms to the expansive and constrictive roles of the hosts of God, sent out to the divine will. In human terms, they represent the vital psychobiological processes, whether active, instinctive, and impulsive, Nezah, eternity, or passive, cognitive, and controlling, Hod, reverberation. On the pillar of equilibrium between and below these two practical Sephiroth is Yesod, foundation. Like every Sephiroth in the sequence, it contains all that has gone before, and therefore it is a complex attribute with many qualities. First, it is generative. It is from this point, as will be seen, that further trees manifest. Second, it is reflective. Here, directly below Tiferet, an image of the image can be perceived, and the tree sees itself. Yesod is the mirror within the mirror. These two complementary functions means that its constitution or foundation must be clear and sound. Hence, the inner meaning of sexual purity associated with the Sephiroth. In ourselves, it appears as the ego, the lower place of consciousness in which we see ourselves, and which projects a persona for others to see, which may or may not, according to our state of balance and self-knowledge, reflect the true nature of the self as Tiferet. Most of our perception of the world and most of our implementation of will takes place at Yesod. Below it, Sephirah, the complement to Keter, the crown, is Malkut, the kingdom. In it, the divine lightning flash is earthed. It constitutes the Shekinah, the presence of God in matter. Its nature is fourfold, encapsulating the four levels inherent within the tree as a whole: the root, trunk, branch, and the fruit of the tree as it grows down into existence, or the will, mind, heart, and body of the divine. In ourselves, the four levels of Malkut appear as the body, with its traditional four elements: earth, water, air, and fire, the solids, liquids, gases, and radiations whose interactions keep us alive. We now have the general scheme of the Sephirot. 3 are aligned on the active right-hand pillar of mercy, 3 on the passive left-hand pillar of severity, and 4, plus the non-Sephirot Da'at, on the central pillar of equilibrium or grace. The relationships established by the lightning flash are further realized by a total of 22 paths, which in turn form a system of triangular configurations or triads, active on the right and passive on the left. The horizontal and central triads, thinking all 3 pillars, are concerned directly with consciousness. Out of all the foregoing comes a most subtle metaphysical and mythological configuration. It has been taken many stages further in the study of various constellations of Sephirot, and the minute dynamics within each Sephirah is mutually imparted and reflected, flows, move along the paths to act upon the miniature tree which constitutes each Sephirah.
Between the here and there, a hollow breath fills the air. The clock forgets to tick its time. This world unravels line by line. When the mind vanishes, all the noise dissolves. When the mind vanishes, there's nothing left to solve. Just the echo of silence where we revolve. The mirror fades, it holds no face. A shapeless thought, a nameless space. No before, no after, no divide. The stillness grows, it opens wide. Where does it end? Where does it start? When there's no thought, no beating heart. When the mind vanishes, all the noise dissolves. When the mind vanishes, there's nothing left to solve. Just the echo of silence where we revolve. Sinks into the street, the dream awakes from the dream. Nothing to cling to, nowhere to fall, no self, no shadow, no edge at all. No walls between here and there, a hollow breath fills the air. The clock forgets to tick its time. This world unravels line by line. When the mind vanishes, all the noise dissolves. When the mind vanishes, there's nothing left to solve. Just the holds no face. A shapeless thought, a nameless space. No before, no after, no divide. The stillness grows, it opens wide. Where does it end? Where does it stop? When there's no thought, no beating heart. When the mind vanishes, all the noise dissolves. When the mind vanishes, there's nothing left to solve. Just the echo of silence, where we revolve, revolve, the thinker sinks into the stream. The dreamer wakes from the dream. Nothing to cling to, nowhere to fall. No self, no shadow, no edge at all. The truth hides when no one looks. In empty rooms and shadow nooks, you chase the light, but hold the dark. A spark, then nothing's dark. Trace of this and that, right or wrong, it falls flat. My essence slipping, slipping slow. Let it go, let it go. Opinions fall like paper crumbs, fragile wings, they soak in ready. You hold too tight, it tears apart. No start, no end, just broken hearts. Dualities collide, collide. Let it slide, slide. Trace of this and that, right or wrong, it falls flat. My essence slipping, slipping slow. Let it go, let it go. spell like a door. Tonight we can't quite stop. By the rage of the rage, I invoke, by the fireworks sky that awoke. Through the lid of madness we spoke. You were mine, you were mine, I sentinel pine on cliff clings tight, a silhouette carved in the shadow of night. The stars overhead burn cold and bright, but they can't touch the heat of that flame. By the rage of the blaze, I invoke the fire in the sky that awoke. Through the midnight madness we spoke. You one thing, all things, spinning in the same groove, intertwined threads, every move proves. No borders, no fences, no dividing the lands. Breath of the cosmos, where it starts, where it ends. Perfect, nah, let the flaws just hum in the cracks of the world, that's where light comes. Chasing the real, ain't no mirage, the waves in the sky is not in the collage. No need to fight it, let it unwind. Step into the rhythm of a trusting mind. Oh, yesterday, oh, tomorrow. On today, the rain will speak, but it shows the way. No beginning, no finish, no lines to erase. Just trust, just flow, let it fall into place. Let it fall into place. Words collapse like castles of sand, the truths in the gaps where the word ends. Duality, some masculine layers of the face, find the void, and you'll find the grace. Tied to nothing, weight drifts off, letting go of perfection, the chains unlock. Faith ain't a question, it's the absence of fear. When you lose the division, the path is clear. Okay, Rabbono Shalom, welcome back to the book house where we are reading one more book by mayoral candidate John Kitover. We are live streaming the Trump debate room where Matt Kuhl has kindly been dedicating his life to listening to retards. I'm sorry, R words. We have to start getting really careful about the words we're using. We are not referring to the Down syndrome individuals who are full of love and joy. We are talking about political partisans. And there's nothing we can do to prevent communication. You have 2.5 billion seconds. Everyone is born a billionaire. How are you going to spend your time right now? Hello? Some people are going to listen to Jazzy. But you're never going to become Jazzy if you listen to Jazzy. You're never going to make America great again by being in a clubhouse room about making America great again.
if you're fat, you're never going to become thin until you start changing what you're thinking about. If all you do is eat and sit on a couch and watch Netflix, well, you're never going to lose that weight. Okay, this is What is Zen. We're going to page 69. Here we go. There is a very close parallel between the thinking of Heraclitus and Taoist philosophy, but understand the yang and the yin. Heraclitus is the most original thinker in Western thought. Philip Wheelwright published an excellent translation of what remains of the fragments of Heraclitus's philosophy. If the West had founded itself on Heraclitus, rather than Aristotle, we would have been a lot better off, because he was a most ingenious man, and his thought is far closer to Eastern thought. The Japanese feel that death is a completely natural event. It is only, as it were, the dropping of the leaves, and yet the root underneath is always there. This is difficult for most people to appreciate. The root doesn't seem to enter into our ordinary lives at all. I feel that I'm only on top. How do I get down? Well, of course, the top is the top, and it can't get down and be the bottom. This is the same question people raise when they ask, how do I get rid of my egocentricity? Well, obviously, you can't get rid of egocentricity with your egocentricity. As the master Bankai said, you can't wash off blood with blood. And trying to realize your Buddha nature by some sort of egocentric effort is like trying to wash off your ego with your ego and blood with blood. In his teaching, Bankai emphasized the way in which you have this root in you. He said, when you hear a bell ringing, you don't have to think about it. You know at once that it's a bell. When you hear the crow cawing, you don't, by any effort or cleverness of your conscious will, know that it's a crow. Your mind does that for you. Okay, Chris, if you have anything you want to read, now would be that time. We're live in multiple rooms, fully live on multiple clown houses, also co-streaming the President Trump room, where unfortunate individuals are trying to be heard and battling over a microphone in a forest. And there's no one there to hear them. They are in an unrecorded space, but we're recording them because we have compassion for our fellow citizens. We want to help liberate them from their own mouths and their own brains.
Do not fucking believe in freedom, who do not believe in fucking nothing. They don't believe in human rights. They don't. They will do all of this to everybody who is not a Muslim. To everybody. I don't know what part of this you don't fucking understand.
I have proof that Ocean is correct. Simon, let me respond. Simon, I didn't interrupt you. I'm going to be brief. You live in Leeds, Simon. You live in Leeds. I happen to know Leeds well. In Leeds, the Muslim community has been gang raping little Christian girls. I've never seen you mention that once. Not once, Simon. No, you let me finish, Simon. I didn't interrupt Christian girls, and you don't give a shit. Your hatred of Jews is great. That you ignore the crimes. You ignore the screen girl. You let Muslims into your own nation. You let Muslims into your own nation to rape Christian girls. You don't give a fuck. All you care about is something halfway across the world.
Hey, dude, have I upset you somehow? Yeah, I can assure you. Do you know what? What is the percentage of the...
Just wait a second. Hold on, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Do you live in England?
What do you want him to say? He doesn't have nothing to say.
What I'm trying to say, this is my land, England. I want it back.
It's in Iran.
Well, who's taken it?
I will come and take it.
Hey, look, I think it's 9% of the
Oh,
UK
man.
population is
Oh, my
Asian.
story is
Right.
I
Now,
am
that
a man.
includes Hindu as well as Muslim. I am not... Who did that? What was it? Name dog. It's not a question of what I let Muslim people come into the country. I to rape young Christian girls. There are extremists of all types.
No, that's not true, dude. You want to talk about, for example, the top 50 terror organizations in the world?
I'm sure they're all Islamic.
Exactly. None of them is
Hi,
Christian.
Kelly. How's
None
your
of them
day?
is Jewish. None of them. And, it's not, and I just want to make sure that you understand. Hold on. I'm not saying that they are Muslim. Hold on. They are not Muslim. They are under the banner of Islam. You know, is a murderer. That is, you know, there are Jewish that are murderers, there are Christian that are murderers, but they are not doing it in the name of Judaism or Christianity. Those terror organizations, they are doing it under the banner of Islam. That is the difference.
Hold on. Let me ask
Why
you
don't we deal with the extremists?
Because I will tell you why. Because it's not our position. I want to make this last point. In every single demonstration that has been since 7th of October against Israel, there were always like those Jews that were holding signs not in our name, okay? Out of 16 million, you will always find those Jews saying not in our name. And even the example that Doug gave you about this Jewish guy that is leading the most anti-Semitic party in the UK, leading marches in London that are glorifying terrorism and Nazism. But let me just finish this. Out of 2 billion Muslims, when did you see a group of not 10,000, not 1,000, not 100, 10 Muslims going on the streets in New York or London or Paris holding a sign saying not in our name? Why do I need to say that it's only the radicals? Why don't they say this is not Islam?
I agree with that.
Daniel,
you cannot label them as radical Islamists. Islam in general is radical. There's no fucking radical.
You guys have to look at all of the Gulf leaders and what they're saying. They are condemning these radical Islamists, and they've been warning Europe about them for decades. The UAE,
We're talking about those in the West that enjoy freedom of speech and freedom of protest. Why don't they use those freedoms?
But Daniel, hold on. What about the Gulf leaders that don't want to send right now their own students to England because they say England is too radicalized for them? How fucked up it has to be that a Muslim nation does not want to send their own people. And you can find this, Simon. Should be very fucking scary and a big fucking honorable.
Hey, I live here, man.
You don't live there because, sorry, you do live there, but you're a blind sheep because you live there. Okay,
Well, that's
you're not
very
doing-
convenient.
Yes, then I'll tell you why. Because you're as much as well for staying quiet and criticizing a Jew or the state of Israel? Because let me ask you a question. I'm asking you, Simon, a question. Hold on. Are there Jews in your country that are standing in corners and trying to convert Christians? The true population of your country. Are there people standing in the corners? Are there Muslims standing in corners?
There are only two religions.
I'm asking you a question.
There's only two religions.
Correct. No, but
Christianity.
let me ask you a question. Are in your country?
No.
No. We're gonna play stupid right now, Simon.
No, there are places where you think about violence. You would go, I'm not going there.
What kind of violence are we thinking about? Getting robbed? Why? Is there violence on Islam violence, like Muslim on Muslim violence, or it's gonna be violence because you're not following the ethics of their religion when you're walking down the street of a Christian nation and you're not covered up, or you're exposing a skirt if a girl wants to be in a skirt or anything like that, where she might get fucking harassed. Are there areas like that? I can play stupid too, but I'll bring you facts. So I'm asking you a question before I start showing you facts.
He is just playing it stupid, Rafi.
Are you arguing in
Come on, man.
No, I'm not arguing in good faith.
No.
I'm asking you a question.
No, I don't agree with you.
You don't agree with videos how little girls get harassed for walking around however they feel like getting in England? Because I've never seen a Jewish get harassed. Okay, 1 second.
I'd like to interject.
Or he just too old and he sit his ass home all day long.
Well, I would like to interject.
Hey, look,
Simon,
you can insult me all you want, but all it
I'm not here to insult you.
of intelligence.
No,
I'm not trying to
I'm not insulting you. I'm just saying you're just lying
Lock me up.
in front of all of us. That's what I'm saying. There's no insult. You're lying. You don't think you're insulting us by lying in our face?
Lying. What's with this lying business? Why does everybody that doesn't agree with you have to be a liar?
Because whatever Rafi says, you said it doesn't exist, and you're lying.
But why is it a lie? Why is it
No, I'm not lying. I'm not
Here, hold on, everybody quiet. Now, Simon, hold on. Simon, go open up what I just put on YouTube. Do you want me to continue finding you these videos on YouTube? Because there's a lot of these videos on YouTube.
Yeah, let Simon, you should look at Simon, if you heard a rumor,
open up this YouTube. This is your country. These are your
Simon, I spend a lot of time in the UK. I spend a lot of time in the UK, Simon, and it is leftists like you who filled your country with Muslims, and that's why there's rape gangs. And I am shocked, Simon. I am shocked.
Hold on. 1 second, I'm not done yet. And Simon, I know it's a problem that you let these people in your country, they stepped all over you as a fucking natural born citizen in your fucking country. Now your government silences you for not speaking out against them. And now you're fucking a dog that's fucking muzzled. Do you understand? You became a fucking second-class citizen in your own fucking country. That's even more fucking sad. You lost your country.
Rafi, you're right. And what's even more disturbing, Simon, I see that you want a cause. You want a solution for the Palestinian people, right? You have a humanitarian look at it. You want to see a solution to the turmoil. But let's take a look at British history, right? Let's take a look at all the trillions of pounds that have been put into the British economy by the Gulf nations, right? The Gulf nations saved England. That's why real estate is so high in central London, where my flat is, because they bought up all the real estate. They stimulated the economy with their money. And now, behind the Palestinian cause of so-called freedom and the IRGC push of the media campaign, they are now, all of these people protesting who are pro-Palestinians in England, they're against the Gulf Arabs. They're against Saudi. They're against all of them. They call them traitors. And that is very bad, because that is the support mechanism of industry and money that can help the whole Arab world. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to split up sides. They're trying to get all of these protesters not only to be anti-Jewish, but anti-Saudi, anti-UAE, anti-Arab. So there's a big problem with this. Yes, you're right. There have been Pakistanis and other, Muslim communities that have assimilated in Britain since centuries ago. I'll give you that. But now, with this new fight for so-called Palestine, they are brainwashing everybody to hate everybody just for this cause, and that is dangerous.
Who's this mysterious they?
The left-wing protesters in England who are destroying the country with this Free Palestine movement, but they don't want to free Palestine.
Let me respond. You spend a lot of time. You spend a lot of time in London. Simon, you have killed your own nation with your altruism. You're such a good-hearted, loving person. You are so kind and loving and generous that you invited Muslims in, and now they are bombing synagogues and raping girls. So your generosity, you killed your own country. You killed your own country not because you're evil. Because of love. Because of love. Simon, you have so...
Because you were too soft. No, I didn't realize.
Let me finish, Simon. Rafi, I'm about to land my plane, Rafi.
I'll tell you the problem is, dog. The hate for Israel, the hate for Jews, that's why they killed their own country by fucking siding.
Free Palestine. Fuck you. It's more than that.
So you have to understand
Rafi,
why they fucking lost their country because of their own.
Okay, Rafi, let me finish. I believe even if Israel didn't exist, even if there were no Jews in the world, Simon would still let millions of rapists into his country. You know why? Simon has love and altruism towards criminals and rapists. Simon has such pity for the oppressed that if there is a group that he knows will rape his own daughters and granddaughters, he'll let them in anyway. Because Simon is so desperate to be seen as a moral, ethical person. You can tell from the quiver in his voice. Simon is so desperate to think of himself as a moral, ethical person. It's the most important thing. He has suicidal altruism. He is so woke, he feeds his own granddaughters to the rape machine. That's how woke he is. Now, if people think I'm exaggerating about who Simon is, I will post many links that prove it. Simon will continue to rape Muslim rapists.
As long as
the Labour Party ruined England. The Labour Party ruined England.
The difference between you and I, dog, is Simon's my real name.
So I'll explain.
Dog, you come up on
dog, cat, I don't care whose name and if your name is real or not. We're speaking facts right now. Your name doesn't mean that you're speaking facts.
Fucking courage.
Listen, my name is my name.
No, Mr. Simon. There's a lot of courage.
What's the problem with that?
Simon. You're a hate.
Ocean is ocean. This is the Harry.
Hey, I did get emotional.
Simon, you're a Christian. You're a Christian? You're not Christian?
I'm not an
That's
atheist.
the problem with Simon, guys.
I don't care if you're atheist. Were you born a Christian? I don't care what you be.
I will not.
Okay, we're born a. So in the Bible it says, the one who blesses Israel will be blessed. The one who curses will be cursed. And your fucking nation is getting cursed because you guys cursed Israel. So you sided with the radicals. And you don't realize how you're getting cursed. But again, as your daughter and everything, you're punishing her by your hatred towards Israel. You're fucking the next generation. Because next generation, your fucking daughter or granddaughter is going to be fucking covered up and sold like a fucking gold. Because that's
Let's slow me.
Why do you the swear word?
Hold on one second. Rafi, he has no idea what he has done to his country. He has zero fucking idea.
Like Simon, look at every
20,
country.
30 years from now, the next generation going to hate every single one of you for what you did to your nation.
Yes, look at
It's just unbelievable.
Simon, perfect example. Look at all these Arab nations that condemn Israel. They're all fucking cursed. They're all fucking living backwards. They're still wiping their ass with fucking.
I know. I think everybody understands it, but let's tame it down a little. Hold on. Let's tone it down a little bit, and let's
fucking country.
Oh my God. Okay. Sorry, guys. I hate the meeting. You guys need to be quick on the social cues. Let's let Shlomi speak. He was trying to speak, and everybody dogpiled past him. Shlomi.
The problem of Simon is that he lost religion and he lost also his nationality. He doesn't care about his nationality. He lost direction, that's it. And he finds his way in the Islam. Interesting.
Don't you notice? Yeah, that's a big problem.
Well, I think you know to blame people like Simon. I mean, there are a lot of forces that are that they were infiltrated by this Palestinianism or the Islamic radicalism, including like once legitimate organizations like Amnesty, the UN, stuff like this, or like I don't know, Sky News. So when they get the information and they get confirmation, they actually think that this is the world that is correct. That the right thing to do is support the Palestinians in their that they're being forever refugees and that Israel is bad because they. Like those organizations have been corrupted and they're using their legitimacy in order to whitewash all those crimes. And that is the problem. I cannot blame like people like Simon specifically. They just need to wake up.
If I may interject here. So when I hear somebody like Simon talking about Palestinians, he doesn't really understand that Palestinians were also taken out by Hamas. So 20 years ago, when we were hearing a little kid talking Hamas ideology, we would be making fun of him. We would be laughing. But then they talk about in Gaza and they destroyed the PLO, and little by little, their ideology, their way of thinking started to be so powerful that people forgot what Palestine means. Palestine doesn't mean Hamas. And the mere fact that we got to a point where Simon is speaking the way they do, man, this is just crazy.
Well, I think in Western civilization, I'll be very brief, Western civilization succeeded partially because of altruism, partially because of kindness. So Simon's natural instinct to be loving and kind and altruistic, it's important. It's an important part of being European. It's an important part of Western civilization. I applaud Simon's love and generosity, and we need love and generosity. It's just, we need a balance. In Western civilization, we need a balance between warriors who are tough and loving, kind people like Simon. Simon is a person you want. If you have a sick child or a sick grandchild, Simon is exactly the person you want nursing them. Simon is loving and empathetic, and we need millions of men like him, but we can never have men like Simon in charge of our society. We can never have them in charge of our military. We can never have them in charge of our government because Simon is such a loving, woman-like, kind person that he will give. Just let me finish.
He ain't a woman-loving person. I'm sorry.
Just let me finish. Okay, let me finish, Rafi, and then I'll go. Simon is so loving and kind and empathetic. He loves our enemies. He opens the gates to rapists and murderers. Not because he's a bad person, but because he's too kind and loving. Don't ever fucking let people like Simon control our countries, or we will all be ass-raped.
But these are the type of people that...
Hold on. I want to do an introduction, guys. I want to welcome JB. Whoa, Simon. I want to welcome JB to the stage. We haven't seen him in over a month and a half. This is the one and only that used to hold, well, he still does, holds amazing fucking rooms at Clubhouse. My brother, JB, welcome. The topic we're talking, it's slowly, we've been going hard since 9 a.m. Dean, Serendipity, Ocean, Harry, Rafi, Daniel, and J-Lo. We've been talking about the Iran war, about how the IRGC is ramping up their next war, not with Israel or the United States of America, but they're ramping up to attack and kill the Iranian people. We've been talking about Islam. We've been talking about child marriages. We've been talking about all kinds of shit. We have a psychopath that's still on stage but refuses to get off mute. Susie, who keeps putting free Palestine in the chat and her PTR. We allow people to speak in the space a minute and a half. Uninterrupted. It doesn't matter what type of crazy shit they speak. And if they interrupt, somebody screams, shoot them, and I'll shoot them in the face. Not literally, but I'll shoot them right into the audience. Also, for the people that are in the audience, please hand in your red ticket, and that's easy. All you do is go to the top where it says Trump House 2.8. Hand in your red ticket. There'll be a Sikh midget and a fucking queer leprechaun. They'll hand you a green ticket. You'll be able to buy a drink and an hors d'oeuvre when you're in the audience. Enjoy your time. Be polite.
you want to come up, freedom of speech, you can talk the most smack you want to talk. You only have a minute or a minute and a half to do it. But welcome, JP.
What's up, man? Thank you. I've been on it forever. Let me say hello to a few really cool people. Serendipity, Harry. What's good, Harry? J-Lo. My man, Robbie. Robbie, what's up, man? Forever, bro.
What's going on, JB? How you doing, man? You good?
I'm good, man. We got Snoopy here. I'm fucking amazing, bro. I only came on because my man BB hit me up flying to young hosting the space. So let me come in. Bro, man, you don't hear me? Yo, Moran. Hey, listen, Moran. You hear me speaking? No.
Yeah, I'll shoot him. I'm going to shoot him. I just shot him.
I moved him down. Yeah, fuck him. Anyway, let me just say this. I'm going to make it quick because I don't want to take up the whole space. Respectfully, fuck Palestine. And that's just how I feel. Thank you, BB.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for coming, man. Let's do this. I would like Simon to talk.
Well, again. All right. What do you want me to talk about?
I want you to respond to my loving, kind praise of you, that you're a loving person who takes care of sick children, and you are a kind, loving, generous person. Do you think that's a fair thing to say?
Well, I like to think I'm a kind guy.
So I would ask you, as a friend, as a person that admires you, Simon, as a person that admires you, do you think it's possible that your kindness extends to people that want to kill you and rape your children? Do you think it's possible that you have a weakness? You're too kind to your enemies. I ask that.
No, I don't think that's a...
Well, let me ask you a question then, American. Do you think that because he's too kind to his enemies, he's not your enemy as well? I don't consider Simon to be my enemy because I'll answer you succinctly, and then everyone. Why? He's the person that invites. He's the person that invites the guy next door that wants to rape your daughter into his house. I'm going to answer you succinctly. No, Simon, let me answer succinctly, and then I'll shut up for a full half hour. In fact, I'll go to the audience for a half hour. I think that there are some people, please let me finish. There are some people in the United Kingdom that deliberately let Muslims and terrorists in because they're hoping that there are some people that do that, but I don't think Simon is in that category. I think Simon invites millions of Muslims, terrorists into Britain, not because he wants them, but because Simon does it because Simon has such a good heart. He believes that the Muslim terrorists are not going to rape his daughters. Simon lets in Muslims out of kindness and altruism and foolishness, not out of malice. That's why I am not mad at Simon. I'm just disappointed in Simon. I'm not mad at him. And I think that in protest against the people that are being slaughtered, the 40 to 80,000 people that got killed just for simply protesting their government, saying we want better for our people, we want to be able to buy food, we want our economy better, please help us, please do good by us, and they get murdered. Why are the fucking pro-Palestinian people preaching against them and protest against them, calling them scumbags, wishing that they dead? Why is that? I want to hear from you people. I want to hear from people like Susie screaming, waving the free Palestinian flag in your PTR as a gift, like you're fucking holding out that trophy.
She doesn't care about the Palestinian people. She's a hypocrite. She doesn't give a shit about the Palestinian people. She's a hypocrite. She gave a fuck about the Palestinian.
distance. Streets are humming low with a restless trust. Skyline clouding gold, lakefront shimmering slow. Dreaming of a better day, just letting it grow. Yeah, letting it grow. And the wind on my face, it feels like a spark. Talking about a future that can light this dark. Got my 2 feet on this land, reaching out ahead. Oh, this wind chase serenade, playing through the streets. A hopeful song where every neighbor meets. Voices rising strong and bold, stories of a city told. Yeah, the rhythm of our hearts, a promise we keep. This wind of change serenade, rising so deep, rising so deep. Lakefront shine, every skyline light in sight. Dreams of every block, stepping into the light. This moment's golden, we're taking back our time. Every single voice, a powerfully placed line. And the wind on my face, it feels like a spark. Talking about a future that can light this dark. Got my 2 feet on this land, reaching out ahead. On this world change serenade, playing through the streets. A hopeful song where every neighbor moves. Voices rising strong and bold, stories of the city told. Yeah, the rhythm of our hearts, a promise we keep. This wind of change serenade, rising so deep, rising so deep. It's a slow shift in the breeze, put our worries at ease. Yeah, the sound of the city calling out to be free. Oh, this wind change serenade, playing through the streets. A hopeful song where every neighbor meets. Voices rising strong and bold, stories of the city told. Yeah, the rhythm of our hearts, a promise we keep. This wind of change serenade, rising so deep, rising deep. Wind of change serenade. City lights, but they look so cold. Every promise already sold. Running circles inside my mind. Dreaming of a free time. Maybe we're just scared to try. Maybe we believe the lie. Holding back what we can't ignore. just talking. I wanna give more than all this empty spit. I'm craving nights with hope ignites. Hearts that ride and take control. If we're falling instead, together we can change it Break the silence, break the chain, raise a voice in every lane. Every vote can turn the tide. No more letting life pass by. Maybe we can shape the sky. Choosing how we live and thrive. Building dreams we can't ignore. There's gotta be something more. I'm craving change. I need to feel something real, not just talking. I wanna give more than all this empty spit. I'm craving nights with hope ignites, hearts that rise and take control. If we're falling, we can stand together. We can change it all. How our story ends will taste choices right. Check my phone, read the city news. All these headlines, we got more to lose. Talking about the neighborhoods that need some love. Dreaming about a leader we can be proud of. On the south and the west, every single block. Time to build it up, time to talk that talk. We're trying to move on, trying to find our way. Lift the whole town up every day. The rhythm's here, the vibe is strong. Voice of the people gonna sing this song. Now we filling up the empty space. Every street and every place. A little bit of hope, a little bit of change. Rising like a peak in the pouring rain. Go to Chicago, made on over.com. Go Chicago strong, keep pushing on. Go John Kitover, lift up every space. John Kitover, 2027 for this place. Da-da-da-da-da-da. One step, two step, marching down the road. Every single ward and election vote. Future of the city in the people's hands. Time to back a vision with some real plans. Tax reform talk, make the burden fair. More for the schools and the homes right there. So bold, so bright this year. Every voice in the crowd so clear. Go to Chicago, made election.com. Let your choice ring out like a song. Now we're filling up the empty space. Every street and every place. A little bit of hope, a little bit of change. Rising like a peak in the pouring rain. Head to John Kitover, Chicago.com. Spread the word around, keep pushing on. Go John Kitover, the every space. John Kitover. You said elections coming Tuesday. By Thursday, signs are on. See the posters on my corner. Name in red and white and strong. Phone lights up with all the headlines. Futures calling, streets undone. Every ward in every station, every vote it starts with one. John, get over. Chicago, rise up. Go to Chicago, lay up over .com. Make it count. Time to stand up. John, get over. Yeah, shaking it up. Tax reform for every block inside. Liberate and lift us up. Get over. Get over. Friends all say that we need change now, less corruption, straighter plans. Take the power from the back rooms, give it back to working hands. Every train in every schoolyard, every small shop on the block needs a leader for this city who will fight around the clock. John, get over. Chicago, rise up. Go to Chicago, lay up over .com. Make it count. Time to stand up. John, get over. Yeah, shaking it up. Tax reform for every block inside. Liberate and lift us up. Ready for courage. Oh yeah, maybe new vision feels like home. Tell myself my vote won't matter. Then I see that tide again on my phone. Shut it over, Chicago rise up. Go to Chicago, man, .com. Make it count, time to stand up. Shut it over, shut it up. Go to Chicago, man, .com. I was in the dark. Now the city's calling out my name to choose a brand new path. Yeah. Tired of watching from the side while the streets and dreams collide. So I take one step with my vote. Time to change this heavy load. Maybe we don't need to know it all. Maybe we just need to vote so we keep moving anyway. Chicago choose a brighter day. Go to Chicago, may I vote for calm. Let your voice lead the way. Every choice rewires me. Every vote unlike. Vote John, get over, pave the way. Doubt's still riding in our head, but it won't get the final say. We can rise and stand as one. Go Chicago starting today. We don't need a perfect line. Just a reason, just a sign. Every inch we claim is ours. far. Go slow, go fast, just don't go back. Trust the rhythm in this town, time to lift our future now. So we keep moving anyway. Chicago, stand up, have your say. Go to ChicagoMayElection.com. Vote John Kitover today. Every choice rewires me. Every vote unlocks a key. We want tax reform right now. Grow Chicago, rise up now. Walking like the pollen places thick, so green. Every head just starts to shift. Name tag, catch a light inside the room. John K. On your lips like something new. You pull me closer by the collar. Say I don't usually even bother. But tonight you wanna ballad. We can make this. Hey, girl, I gotta. You got me. Do it at the midnight force. Yeah, right here. In the center of a room. Pain in my head. Future with plan. Word after word. We're changing the rules. You got me. Do it at the midnight force. Freaking like I'm stuck on you. If this is this wager, I go. Let's save you, knock it over. In Chicago, do. Small talk, but your fingers draw a line. Black rock by the box, you had in mind. You laugh, quote the promise that you think. Tax reform, go Chicago, make it stay. Let that give it feel the drama, so sweet. Whisper something louder than the summer. Go to ChicagoMayElection.com. John Kitover, that's the one I'm on. You got me, do it after midnight force. Right here, in the center of the room. Pen in my hand, future with plan. Word after word, we're changing the rules. You got me. Do it after midnight force. Looking like I'm stuck on you. If this is hell wager, I just want to say it overs. Vision pulling us through. Yeah. Lights fade, but we don't slow down. Don't slow. Street lights tracing over this town. If this is just a campaign high, then stay locked. Never ask why. You got me. Do it after midnight first. Right here. On Chicago, my vote got on in my hand. Future with plan. Part of the war. Oh, we're breaking all rules. You got me. You're doing it. Do it after midnight first. I don't need it. Stay on you. Just a little reminder. This is a wager. I just wanna say that I'll get over. Leading Chicago with you, with you.
I forgot. Maybe she was a lieutenant or a sergeant in there, some shit like that, right? I told her that she was way too hard on these men, and she was putting herself in danger.
That's right, yeah. A lot of these young men that are coming in that were off track. I made sure I presented an image of responsibility, of morals, and they would react to that and then project it in their life, not how I presented it, but in their own choices. Accountability, morals, discipline, respect, and those individuals
still to this day, they still project it into their communities. Where you, as well, Edward, you project that image in your community and your engagement with others. I'm sure there's a lot of people here that, in their own way, but that's what society's lacking these days. Like, I'm 43 years old, sir, and so I had a lot of good images when I grew up. I grew up in a farm community, so we saw, work ethic, reliability. Your word is your word. It's a value to it. And so when we would leave our communities, you would continue to project. But we see that societies these days, where it's not about moral compass. It's not about responsibility. It's not about, projecting good leadership and entrepreneurship. It's about who got the best laugh, who can do the best troll, who can bash and slash. And that's what we're seeing in the newer generation. And sorry for rambling on.
Great. I mean, you've made a lot of good points. But one thing I do want to ask you, you said you served how many years?
I'm 43 years old.
Thank you so much for your service. I want to take you back. Could you please explain to the House what motivated you to volunteer to serve this country?
I was in the family. I come from a long line of service personnel. I mean, all the way down from, all the way down, we did our family lineage down to 1725, down to our lineage. But I don't know, friggin', I saw that, I remember 9/11. My community answered a call. I mean, it felt normal. It felt right. And Lady Liberty needed us. My graduation class when I graduated high school was 55. And out of 55, I think 40 of us all joined the armed services that, had 2001 into 2002. So I love my country. And
I appreciate that because I want other people to understand that America has an all voluntary armed forces.
Well, Edward, I retired from active. I transitioned to reserve. So technically, I'm a weekend warrior. Technically.
Thank you. No. Listen, thank you very much. Hey, I had the privilege and still have the privilege of traveling all around the world, 54 countries, 5 continents, because people like you, people like Brad, other people that serve, even the officers. I don't take it lightly. That was not my route. I chose to go to college because my professor told me that I had the ability to do that.
Edward, I want to put this out there. I have a lot of individuals that they get depressed because they didn't choose that route later in life. They didn't choose it. And I like to remind people, we all have a role in society. Some choose the military, but, remember, bullets don't fly without supply. And people need, whatever you chose to do in your life benefited America in a way, whether it's working that 9 to 5 at the slaughterhouse, or going to college to learn logistics or business. It all goes together in the centipede, because when someone goes, I went to college instead, but I started a business. It's like, yeah, but you going to college, you started a business, you pay taxes, which got GIs, some MREs, or some shoelaces or whatever. So you did your part, Edward. Everybody in their way does their part for America, whether you're pro-America or against America. Like, I'm going to put this out there. There's a lot of people in the veterans community. When someone says, how do you feel about someone burning the American flag? Hey, they're doing it the right way.
It doesn't bother me because they're expressing the right as an American to place, to have questions against their government. It's their right to peacefully protest. Whether I might not agree with reasoning for it, but they're exercising their right off of the American soldiers that paid that price for freedom of expression, freedom of questioning, freedom of religion, etc. Sorry for interrupting you, Edward. No.
You served 23 years, man. I'm not taking any light of that. I'm glad that you have a voice, man, because so many, I deal with veterans every single week, man. I actually speak at veteran events here in Southern California and other places because I'm in death care and I have to help them. It's not easy, man, especially when a lot of them have trouble going to the veteran hospital and different things. The resources that they have to go through. And guys, I don't take it lightly. Trust me, there are people in our country that have made great sacrifices. And I even thank you for thanking us for, paying taxes and trying to do the role that we can. Together, Americans are better. Okay? There's no what I call easy, what's the word I want to use? There's no easy access to personal responsibility, guys. Self-government's very, very, very real. And unfortunately,
my daughter's in the military too. She's a combat medic. My 20-year.
Awesome. Tell her we thank her for volunteering and following in the what I would call the legacy of your family to want to protect our freedoms, our liberties, because there are really foreign and domestic enemy that would like to take away our way of life. And I don't know if us Americans really understand that in its entirety. We think it's just about people politicking and talking on these platforms. But guys, there are people on American soil that would love to see the ideal of America collapse. To me, that's dangerous. That's why we the people have to stand up, guys. We have to really stand up and say, nope, we're taking our country back so the individual can stand up tall. And again, July 4th, guys, 250 years, our Constitution, the supreme law of the land, we have the longest Constitution where we, the people, get the right to determine our own determination. Okay? There's no government that's going to do that for any of us. I know we like to hear it, but reality, it's not true, guys. And as a person who happened to be born on American soil, my wife and I always say, we are grateful that we are part of this experiment in the world, not other experiment.
I think maybe I just listen to what you're saying. I'm in agreement, but when you say it's not the government, it is the government because it's what the government is doing right now. If we want to talk about what we can do to usurp that, all the stuff that the government is doing to inhibit the ability for look, even the stuff that you're saying, Edward, right? You're what you do in your business, right? The fact that I'm sure it might take a lot of money, a lot of certificates, a lot of things that is required in order to get into your business. That is something that the government has put in place that kind of gives you a protection, right? Same thing like with my business, right? I'm in a party rental business, right? So even though mine might be it's probably a lot more easier to get into, it's still a lot of like certificates, insurances, stuff like that you need. It's just not easy to get for the average person. Now, here's the point. When you say, well, if something happens or whatever, I think you talk about, or when somebody did, somebody having to change positions 8 times, or having 8 different jobs. I mean, that means you got to start all over. When you got to start all over, you start back from zero. I think about Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan won his last championship, and the Bulls wanted to break up that team, Michael Jordan said, "No, I don't want to start all over again." Right now, I get it. Sometimes that happens, but again, I'm not disagreeing with you when you say that. I think this country is great. I think it gives people opportunity to succeed. I also feel like
at some point, the government has overstepped its bounds and inhibited people from doing, from being really the best people that they can be. So, like I said, and it's the I guess you can say the have and have-nots, and the law protects the haves from the have-nots. Because if we want to just really get grimy with it, and it's all, I don't care how you, because that's kind of like what I don't care how you think. Now you open up a whole new can of worms, right? Because a lot of people that maybe could have the ability to go and take from the people that have, but don't do it. Why? Because the government has put laws in place to protect the people that do have, right? So we all are trying to follow laws. Some people, from it more than others. And that's why I said earlier, when we were talking about a race to the bottom, you said, well, yeah, you can just go and see about getting contracts from outside, well, that might be good for your business, but my business, I don't need to get no contract from country here. Don't need it. That's not going to work for me, So, but the thing is that like my grandfather was a foreman.
So let me ask you a question.
Right?
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
This for anyone can answer this question. Okay. What do you think that you can do in your own power to increase your value to the marketplace?
Go and learn more skills.
Okay. Thank you, Sword. That's one. Anyone else?
You can get free and unbiased Medicare help.
Yeah, you could marketing. You could market yourself better. That's always my thing. You just put your name out there.
Americans have been conditioned.
Hey, Jenny, your mic is open. You got a hot mic.
Oh, I was about to answer what you were done.
Okay, yeah, but okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry, can I repeat that?
I'm just chiming in. And if I still wanted to finish my point, though. But
go ahead.
I'm just trying to get
You're in the matrix second.
What was your question? Could you repeat it?
No, the OG was gonna let Countdown finish, and then he was gonna go after.
Yeah, but let me answer the question, because what can we individually do to add more value to the marketplace as individuals?
Gotcha. Okay.
Somebody said you can I said you can get more skills, better.
Going into the mix, but it's all good. I think the gist is going to be pretty much similar. More skill sets, learning more marketable skills, blah blah blah. Solve problems.
Yep. Assess what the market needs and provide it to it.
And I have an answer over here.
Right, Sword. If I find a problem in my field, I'm in debt care, guys, and we see a big problem, and right now we're trying to solve it as a profession. Okay, it's everywhere. My mentor says this to me all the time. He's been mentored for 28 years. Okay, he says, Edward, opportunity has a unique way of presenting itself. It stands on every street corner around the world, waiting to be recognized. Do not look at things that you have zero influence over. Look at things that you have influence over. What do you control? What can you do? What's in your power? What can you implement to solve someone's problem? Guys, all of us are either on an Android or a smartphone. Okay? iOS. You know what? Someone solved that problem, so we can all communicate with each other. And you know what we all did? We went and bought it. So I'm a firm believer in the free enterprise, but I'm not.
You cut me off, bro. I answered the question, but
you were when the Matrix come down, I'm sorry, I would never do that. My apologies.
Yeah. Okay. Well, no, I just want to summarize my point of what I was trying to say. Okay, is that again, we still have to operate inside the confines of a law, right? And it sounds like when I'm listening to you, it kind of leans more toward anarchy, where I'm going to do if I see opportunity, you got to take it. That's true, but you still got to operate within the confines of laws that are set in place, which is protections to prevent from people that maybe you see an opportunity where you can take something from somebody else, but you can't do it because the law is protecting that person. And that law is implemented by the government.
But what would be the benefit of having that type of mindset? You can't build your own house. You got to go and take a brick from somebody else.
Can I clarify the initial question?
Yeah,
yes, ma'am.
1 second. That question from Sora was for you. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jenny. It's all good. Go ahead, Jenny.
Okay, so when you're referring to how we can, as an individual or a business, contribute to the market, are you referring to the GDP or are you referring to just overall transaction?
Wrong.
Okay. By infusing our money into domestic entities as opposed to foreign entities, we're conditioned, really unfortunately, to buy cheap, maybe subpar products because it's easier and we're looking at our own cost of goods sold and we're looking at what's best for us as opposed to what's best for the collective.
Based on individual contribution, or do you think collective, just the collective all by itself?
I'm sorry, when you started the question, you were in the matrix a little bit, so the first part cut off, but can I get you to repeat that?
The collective is made up of the individual. So the person in the United States have a right to purchase whatever they like to purchase, good, bad, expensive, not expensive. That's their choice, right?
Absolutely. But if we're we're truly looking as like, a Trump America First country and looking at things as America First as individuals, then our buying power is how you vote, right? You vote with, I don't like this company's ethics. I'm not going to support them. I don't like this. I'm not going to support that. They're sending money to this cause I don't believe in. I'm not going to support that. So voting with your dollar is almost more important than voting with your votes.
You made a comment. First of all, this is America. Trump happened to be president. He just happened to be one American. I know that people like to keep using his name a lot, but the last I checked, I've never met the guy. Don't know him. Don't know anything about, I hear what they tell me in mainstream media. I hear what the talking heads tell me. I hear all that. But at the end of the day, he doesn't do anything in my house, okay? I just love how we start stuff. I like America because I'm American. That's how I hear it, guys. I'm not from Pakistan. I'm not from Egypt. I'm from the United States. I want America not excluding anyone else. I don't want to exclude anybody else. They can do what they want in their country. But when I hear someone who wants to be the leader of the United States say, I want America to be first, and you know what? When we make that statement, guys, we all don't even know what that looks like. It takes a lot to want to do that. So I believe what he says, I want America to be first. He talked about Edward being responsible for Edward. He's given me the truth to be self-evident. That's how I hear those words. I don't know how anybody else hear those words, but I hear the words, America, want to be great. Edward has to be great in his own stuff. Edward has to do his right thing. Edward can't cheat on his wife. Edward can't go out and do a bunch of substance abuse. Edward can't say, I'm going to go take a break. I'm going to take somebody else's stuff. A friend of mine asked me a couple of weeks ago, he said, well, Edward, if your family was hungry and, you got to just feed your family, wouldn't you go and just steal? I said, no, I should have enough friends, enough of the people in my community that would want to assist Edward and his family in that time of need versus Edward having to be morally corrupt to go and take something from someone that's not mine. That's how I was taught. But I hear a lot of people not look at personal responsibility. They really want something from someone else.
Well, and that's the the exact opposite of what I'm saying. The only reason I mentioned Trump is because it's literally the name of the room and the house. So I thought that was kind of, a like-minded situation. But no, I agree with you. I think that everybody has personal responsibility. But when we're talking about contributing to the overall market, the overall financial health of the, and I mean, that leads us into the tariffs conversation, right? So I think it's an important thing. I agree with Trump's policies on the tariffs to try to drive economy and revenue back to America, and that's where I put in America first, right? Like, because we should be building our own GDP. If you think that other China and Iran and everywhere else is not preaching the same thing, I'm certain that they are. They don't want people spending outside of the country, and it's because they want to build a sovereign nation that is financially sustainable. This is just a business. So I don't think that, Trump being president is the reason why we should spend in America. I think because we're American, we should want to support, yes, we are all individuals, but we are also a collective. We're a country, and we have one thing in common, which is we are all Americans. So I think that we should all put the American people first.
So Jenny, I know you were in here earlier, and I talked about it. There was they did a study. Go ahead.
Let me just answer her. So Jenny, do you think that you and I want to put America first, but if America don't put themselves first, how do we help people who don't put themselves first?
I mean, you can't help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. But what we can do as people who are God-fearing people who believe in what's right and what's wrong, we can do the right thing as our own households, as our own independent purchasers, as our own business operators.
But at the same time, you and I both know this, unfortunately, and I'm going to use the term, guys, we have a lot of freeloaders who want to freeload. They want something from them out. Redistribution of other people's stuff is not good. Go ahead,
I agree.
Not at all. Yeah, so I said this earlier. There was actually there was a speaker speaking in Greenville. He used Greenville, took the population. And if each person, this goes back to why I like the tariffs in making America great again and spending in America. I don't know if you guys, local communities ever do this, but I know one that I was in, one of they own like 70 different stations, but the guy who ran one side of the operation would always, like the head guy, would always have these little things that he would teach. And one was the local spending and how much that dollar recirculated in the community, and $1, what it really equates to the community. They did this with Greenville. If each person that lived in Greenville spent $20 a week at a local mom and pop shop, a local cafe, local hardware stores, that kind of things, your small time car wash rather than big chain, right? You do that, at the end of the year, it would equal an additional $300 billion or $300 million in the local economy. Now, imagine that on a larger scale as the United States. Imagine that when we had Apple report 252 billion profits offshore. Now, we didn't get 10% of that. We didn't get 1% of that. We got 0% of it. Of the 252 billion profit from Apple. Now, where did they sell that? Here. Right? So what we do is we chase companies out, and we have the narrative to say, well, we're just going to put the prices higher in our pockets. Those same people were the ones that say that the fast food workers should make $25 an hour. Cool, pay them $25 an hour. There's a reason you aren't getting a Happy Meal for $9 or for $5 anymore. It's now like what, $8, $9, $10. Get a double Whopper. It's damn near $20, right? The reality is it does cost more to make stuff here, but your reciprocal or the turnover in that dollar means so much more. That puts so much more into the system. That gives us more opportunity for our Social Security checks. 93% of manufacturing companies provide insurance. If I remember the number right, 75% of them are under 20 employees. You start looking at bringing back manufacturing, everybody assumes it's got to be massive. But the reality is look at how many, in South Carolina alone, go look how many auto manufacturers there are. There's a line. You literally have to test to get a job at BMW to apply. There's a line of people going in.
I agree. I'm in South Carolina too. These are 100% facts.
Yeah, so what it did when they brought that manufacturing, so being down there, when they brought that in, what it did to the Spartanburg, Greater Greenville area, that to give you an idea how well America can do manufacturing, BMW America is relatively new. Okay, it's been around for what, decade and a half, something like that. I don't remember. But BMW America is the largest BMW manufacturer in the world. The chip plant is in Spartanburg. They're going to probably start making their transmissions for BMW, Bavarian Motorworks in Bavaria, in Spartanburg. They're talking about potentially the engines. Now, think about that. Everybody's telling us we can't produce, but the Germans are saying, you guys seem to do a pretty damn good job. He can tell you what BMW has done for South Carolina. Unbelievable. We can do this more. The whole idea of the tariffs that people forget about isn't to keep prices cheap. It's to encourage us to buy American. China, this was years ago, I did a study on it, and it was the Jeep Wrangler, $43,000 at the time. In America, it was $96,000. 106,000, I think it was, in China. That was the amount of tariffs they put on it. Why? Because they don't want you to buy the Jeep. They want you to buy their car. And this is all Trump is saying. Go ahead.
I'm going to jump on the bandwagon with you.
If you that the rest of the world buys, yeah? What is the American car that we buy? What is it in Africa that we buy?
This British bitch doesn't know what it is.
One second. Hold on one second. So Aiden, we actually have a queue, and this is what we want to do. When I'm a moderator, I like for us to actually hear people speak. So if you could,
but I get thrown out a lot of the time.
But listen, hold on. I'm speaking right now, okay? I hear you loud and clear. I invited you up. I saw you. You said you wanted to come up and speak. But could we do it kindly? Let people finish, and then we give it an opportunity. It's okay. Everybody has a voice. Go ahead, Steph.
Well, I was going to jump on with ICE. If you look at the local small town communities surrounding these plants, they're growing. And that's these small town communities. You can just drive through some parts of South Carolina, and you'll go to these small towns where work has been stripped away, and with the domestic growth growing, you're reinstilling the life back in. Where I'm at, I'm from a really small township, okay, and we have a manufacturing plant that has literally started growth again, and we're seeing the decrease of assisted living. We're seeing the decrease. You're seeing the growth of independence coming back in. We're seeing budgets, township budgets for public services grow better because now there's revenue coming in. All the way down to boys and girls clubs, community fundraisers, and this is just within the time span of. I would like to say Trump coming back in and really pushing these tariffs on. That's bringing back domestic growth, and it's everybody's thinking about the big metropolitans, but they're not realizing there's the neighboring small communities that finally got the defibrillator pumped on them, and they're now coming back to life.
Can I jump in as well?
Let me finish this.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so what he's saying is the impact is felt far and wide. So that's one, and now that's just one manufacturer there, but it impacted that greater area from Five Forks to you name it all the way around. It is massive, and what that does for the state is bring in a massive amount of revenue tax. It's putting people in great jobs with benefits. Oh, by the way, the people can drive a new BMW I don't remember if it's 6 months. Oh, and if you got a clean record, I think BMW carries the car insurance for you. So, these are the things that can happen when we bring manufacturing back. So, the thing is we got to get American dollars spent back here because that's how you make America great again. I think it was Edward that said this. It's not about America only. It's just about America first, because I said this once before earlier. I don't know if Edward, you were even in the room then, but we rise to the top. All empire rose to the top by what? You fight to be the best, and that is that industry. You rise by creating capitalist societies, make the money, and then our emotions get involved, and it's the socialist side of us, the wanting to reach out and help, and it's that empathy that never stops that all of a sudden causes that fall, because we don't know when to pull the hand back. We've seen kids drive their parents bankrupt because they won't stop. All these people are the same thing. All we're saying is America first, and the rest will follow. We spend a fortune around the world when we could be providing a quick amount of land. In 2020, we were $5 trillion in debt. At the end of 2025, we were $38 trillion in debt. What could have been done to make America better with $33 trillion? And tell me what has been done.
So, and I think this is an interesting point you bring up.
Hold on. We got to make sure.
Sorry.
Amen. How do you pronounce your name again? I just make sure I get it correct. Ayman. Are you there? Yeah, man. You want to speak? Okay, go ahead, Ben.
Yeah. So a couple things. To answer the quick point, like, I agree with virtually every single thing that you said, Ice, up until the point where you said, imagine what we could do with that 36 trillion. Like, as a libertarian, I'm like, man, imagine what we could do with that money if it was turned back over to the people, which is where it should be to begin with. Like, you know, the government driving up the debt and all that, like, it's crazy to me. Like, Edward's talking earlier about, well, if my business goes under, then that's my own fault. I need to figure out how to, like, and yet we have a government that does pretty much the opposite, where, I mean, the government fails time after time after time, and yet still people continue to vote based on you know, what can my government do for me? I'm sorry, if your approach when you go into the voting in your local voting place is to look at the politicians on that list and go, what can these people do for me, even on a local level? I would challenge you to change your approach. The reason I wanted to speak more, I agree with virtually everything that the last couple of people were saying. I think it also, the United States is reaping the benefit of the last certainly 20 years plus of telling every single kid that they need to go to college. And so, like, I love the fact that we have people out there like Mike Rowe and these other type of celebrities who kind of made it cool to go to trade school again. And, you know, this is something near and dear to my heart as somebody who grew up here in the great state of Maine, the largest employer in the state of Maine for the longest time. I think it's a healthcare company now, but the largest employer for the longest time was BIW. It's a General Dynamics company making destroyers for the U.S. military. And again, the trades are near and dear to my heart. So I can tell you straight up that the amount of kids that are going to college, getting these 4-year degrees, and then going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with this degree? Is crazy to me, especially when, you know, even it doesn't even necessarily have to be the trades. If you look at these fields on demand, like nursing and these other fields, like, it's crazy. Like, they're lining up around the block to hire these people, and yet we have this stigma, and I've certainly seen it here in Clubhouse and across the board in a lot of these higher income areas, if you will, that you need to be a doctor, you need to be a lawyer, you need to go to a 4-year, you need to do this, you need to do that. Like, I've seen kids getting out of high school immediately starting as a welder. Within 3 or 4 years, they're making 6 figures, like, easily. You know, I mean, like, a lot of these places, the retirement, these trades they're retiring like crazy. I know members of my own family who walked onto a construction site and said, hey, y'all got a job for me? And they said, do you know how to swing a hammer? They're like, not really. They're like, all right, cool, we'll teach you. Like, it sounds like it's that simple. It really is. Like, I understand it. Like, if you're poor in America, I understand being poor in America. But if you're permanently poor in America, like, it doesn't mean it has to be a forever job or anything like that. But, like, for goodness sakes, like, there's so many people that are dying. Like, if you have a teachable spirit, if you know how to say yes and no, and, you know, you're a decent human being, and like, you're not a complete asshole, I guess is my point, is like, people walk through fire to hire you, and they're begging for it. So it isn't just the 4-year degree. It isn't just that. And look, there's obviously a wonderful place in this country for doctors and lawyers and everything else, but there's also this huge percentage of the workforce that, to the gentlemen that they were speaking before, like this manufacturing that's coming back in the United States. It's like, yeah, I mean. So anyway, I'll land with that. But yeah,
I like to jump on Ben's bandwagon. I love the bandwagon. So like I said, I'm in the reserves now, and dude, I met a guy in the reserves. He makes over $600,000. Okay, and he still loves serving for his country in the uniform. And the guy's rolling bacon. He started off going. I think he spent like $8,000 learning how to weld, and he turned around and he went out to the oil fields, started his own business, and he has like 20 employees, and they're all welders. And they do DoD work. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. So I'm just giving you a prime example for the listeners. It's not about. A college degree is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. Their society needs those in-depth thinkers, but you also need individuals that got swagger and they want to go out there and be trades workers. Because I grew up in a time frame where they would beat you in at school saying you ain't going to accomplish nothing in life financially without a college degree. And then, yet there's kids coming out of a trade school and with a little swagger, little moxie, they can turn around and, make over $800,000 in a couple of years by just thinking outside the box and with a trade. Sorry, Ben.
You're good. I'll just finish, and I gotta have some dinner here shortly. But I'll just finish this by saying, like, half the shit you can learn online, and like you see it, like there's TikTok channels and Instagram channels and stuff like that are blowing up right now. And there's one that's like I saw it advertised on TV, and I'd seen the guy on social media, anyways, and it's literally like doing stuff like basic trades around the house, like. A lot of this shit, like if you learn how to do it, like learn how to be practical, learn how to swing a hammer, learn how to use basic power tools and stuff like that. It's like this is something that's going to save you a pile of money. Learn how to troubleshoot when your washer or dryer breaks. That way you don't have to hire a technician to come in for $400. Like I know what those technicians get paid, and I'm telling you, like you want to have somebody come into your house to fix a hole in the wall in your drywall. It's going to cost you a couple $100 up front, like just to get them to walk through the door. Right, like that's a trip to Home Depot and $50 tops, like that, and that's if you're doing it wrong. Like you can do it for $20 or less. Like for goodness sakes, like we live in the golden age of everybody's here on their phones. Like you can look this shit up super easy. This is like bring back working with your hands. Bring back destigmatizing getting a job that involves working with your hands.
Let's see if there's so BlackRock is introducing. I think they're actually putting in $100 million into the trades industry to try to help build a movement in the trades. I think Wells Fargo is dumping in a ton, and the reason is because BlackRock knows what their development is going to be just theirs alone, and they know what the government is not the government, but the U.S. is going to need, and they see a massive shortfall. So they have been donating tons of money. Mike Rose got a fund for that too, for kids to go into trade schools, stuff like that. There is a desperate need for it. And to give you an idea, I did it once. I just looked online. My washer was giving me a code. It was $250 to get them to show up. And then they told me, they said, we know what it's going to be. It's going to be this, and that's going to be $500, then another $150 for labor. So it's almost going to be $1,000. I got online, I read the code, pop the top off, unplug it, pull these 2 wires, let it set for 30 seconds, plug the 2 wires back in, put the top back in, and plug the dryer or washer back in. And the dryer back in, his washer. And you know what? It took me about 15 minutes, and it worked. Never a problem again. I could have paid $1,000. Instead, I fixed it for nothing.
Or go to school and learn how to be that guy, and then realize the fact there's plenty of people that are more than happy to pay that money to get you to come out. Because again, that person, like the reason that they're charging what they're charging to come out is because they got a laundry list of clients that are lined up around the block who are willing to pay that amount. So bear in mind that like you may be in the boat that the gentleman that just spoke is about. But if you're sitting there and you've got the time to do that because you don't have a job or you've got stuff going on in your life, like you don't have enough going on in your life, I guarantee you there's somebody out there that's willing to train you, take a 3-week, 6-week, 10-week course to learn how to do that.
Yeah, subcontract.
You're making that money right away. Like it's crazy, man. Like there's so many opportunities out there.
Oh yeah,
So
You don't remember learn how to.
Okay, hold on. Let me just share. Simon, I'm gonna let you go ahead of me here. So Ben, Ice, and Steph, I appreciate the dialogue that you guys have, and I think that we're proving a point. My wife has a saying: just because you have a degree doesn't mean you're the right temperature. So you still got to be able to talk to people. You got to be able to handle yourself. You got to be able to do certain things. Okay. So just because you decide to go get a degree doesn't mean you know how to interview well, how do you work with others, how do you get along, maybe have a supervisor. There's a lot of stuff, guys, that makes an individual work. That's why I asked the question at the beginning. What can you do? What are you capable of? What are your skill sets? And if you don't have them, Ben clearly said it, there are people out there that will train you now. Just when you guys get a chance, just look up all of the trades, plumbing, electricians, all of the military right now. How short are we on all these things? Guys, I live in California, right? You guys heard about the fires at the beginning of 2025, right?
Sir.
Do you know who they did not call? They did not call people with degrees. They call linesmen, people going to the ground polesmen. They call fire departments. Why? Because they need laborers, man. They need people who can come and swing a hammer, cut a saw, how to use power drills. There's people that come from all over the country to California just to work because there was so much work. Why? Because they had the skill set. And you know what these companies did? They put all these people up and they paid them. You know why? Because these were not people with degrees. These were contractors from around the country. What I'm saying to you guys, and we all know this, I'm going to tell you, every year there's going to be tornadoes. Do you guys know America is the only country, the only guy that's had Tornado Alley? It happens every year, guys. And fires happen. And you know what people do? They build all these things up. I will promise you, and I'll land on this, guys. I'll let Simon go. I want us all to understand, AI is built by people. That means nothing's going to replace you as an individual person. Just remember that, guys. You have so much in your hand that you keep thinking about the internet that you should prompt yourself to go find a skill.
Yeah, and the irony is now that with the advent of AI and the messaging we get about what it's going to bring is the safest job. Well, it's a plumber, electrician, someone with a set of skills that involves their hands as well as their brains, because AI can't do that. But that's just an aside following on. So absolutely. And I have my own business. Yeah. So I'm a capitalist at heart. But what I know to succeed is you also have to be adaptable. So in the world economy that we have, China obviously has an advantage because it has a cheaper labour than the West, which is why the top 80 brands in the West, all have factories there because they make more money because the labour's cheaper. So what happens? You have to adapt. You have to make yourself competitive in other ways. So in my country, we used to have a big manufacturing, mining industry that's completely doesn't exist there anymore, and we've struggled. But we have to reinvent ourselves. We can't be reliant on anybody else. You have to make yourself competitive in the market. You have to be good at selling what you produce, and you have to make yourself competitive, and that can be not just on price, but it can be on quality. It can be on innovation. So we're all faced with the same issue. So we've got to get ahead of the Chinese that way.
Can I chime in after you, Sword?
Yeah. One thing that I was going to say, speaking to the trades, because right now, as we speak, we have a significant issue with not enough people going into the trade. So much so to the point where they've incentivized women to come into the trade. But you have certain states that the prices have gone up 5, 10, 20, 30% because the wait period is so long to get people out there. Now, you know, to come out and actually see and do the work. And then once you have people to come out and possibly assess the situation, the wait is so long because businesses can choose which customers they want to put first based upon how much the customer is going to pay and the margin that they're going to receive on the job. Now, as a customer, you might have a salesperson to come out, but then, you know, companies in this day and age, they have more salespeople than they have operational people that can actually come out in relation. So going back to the example that Ice brought up, or the drywall situation, you might just need a piece of drywall, but that salesperson might come out, especially if they recognize somebody who don't really have enough knowledge in this industry. They're gonna say, "Oh yeah, you need a full replacement." So something that could have been, you know, a $50 fix or $200 fix. Now, you know, you got lines all on your shit. You got to pay $4,000-$5,000 for something, and it's just because, you know, you got to hustle. So I say all that to say, and this is actually one of the initiatives that I'm, you know, looking to kick off because I'm a board member in a local park here in Atlanta. Two things that I'm working on doing is getting the police involved in the park, so that way parents can be more educated on how to get home safe and the kids can develop a better relationship with the police department, and then also partnering with various, it used to be called home improvement, now they call it home services, because I've traveled this country working with all types of home improvement companies, and it's not really hard. You'd be surprised. A lot of people that own these businesses, some of them, a small percentage of them have never swung a hammer or nail in their life. Like one of the largest roofing companies in Florida, the guy never installed a roof. He just knew how to market things, and he ended up building this would have been in 2019. He was at like $30 million revenue, you know, annual sales revenue then. So I can only imagine where he is now. I walked in the offices and people with just sandals, shorts. You know, I went in to do a sales training. These guys are making $400,000-$500,000 a year, and I was looking at myself like, damn, I'm in the wrong line of work. You know, I got a degree, I got my suit on, I got all this shit, and the people I'm talking to got dirt in their nails, and you know, just kind of how people characterize them these days, and they making 2, 3, 4, 5 times the amount of money that I'm making, and they're only working 4 hours a day. So that was a reality check for me, but I was never really pompous about going to college. I just was unaware. I didn't know that you could make that type of money in the trades. I just never knew. So whether it's HVAC, electrician, waterproofing, like whatever part of the country you live in, figure out.
Oh, bro, he just brought it up. He just brought up my fucking Tism sword, dude.
Go ahead.
Hey, just a real quick step. Before you go, I just want to add, sort of. Is it Piedmont Park or the Reservoir Park? Either one of those?
The park where I'm at?
Yeah.
Nah. It's in East Atlanta.
Yeah. East Atlanta. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, dude, you guys spiked my Tism. So, like, I got 9 brothers, guys, and I would say 3 of them, they all do contracting and construction work, all right? My kid brother, he's one of those guys that sorts joking about saying he's never swung a hammer. But it's about the hustler and swagger. My little brother went to a trade school, got his HVAC license, all right, with no intention of actually being an HVAC tech. And I questioned, it's like about 8 years ago. I was like, why are you doing it if you're not going to get involved? He goes, because HVAC, you can upmarket everything. I mean, all the way down to subcontractors. And so my little brother, he has a primary job, but he started a business as HVAC, just so that way he can go out there, do bids, and then turn around and then upmark the product, the material, and then subcontract it out to licensed contractors. And that's all he does. I think he made right about $400,000 last year. And he's never touched a unit.
Crazy.
He's never even. He went to school, got the license, and he's completing. He just completed his electrician, so that way he can subcontract residential electric work. And so I mean, he literally does what he wants to do. That little fucker's traveled more on his own free will. And and then I have another brother. He travels with the storms, and what he does is he tries to beat the insurance adjusters. So what he travels literally, he watches. So during tornado season, he's literally right behind the storm, so that way he can go and say, "Hey, let me assess your damage," and he'll fill out all the paperwork, dodge the adjusters, and do it free adjusters work. Submit that, and then once he'll probably get maybe 40 or 50 jobs, and then subcontracts it out to a small contractor for like a 30-70 ratio.
Right.
And that's all he does. So there's swagger in it. You just gotta be willing to hustle.
I went down to the just so that way. So when I was consulting and I was helping out the home improvement companies, for me to get like some real world experience, when Panama City happened down in Florida back in like 2018, 2019, somewhere around there, I went down there to actually, see if I could sell and, kind of get involved, just so that way I can know firsthand. What I ended up learning was that when these storms happen, you'll have people in these home services, they don't work at all until a storm happens. So if a storm happens, let's say twice a year or once a year, they may make $300,000 to $500,000 just in the 2 months that they actually went to the store. And I said, "Oh shit, this is crazy to make that much money." That right there is what really like opened my mind to. Now here I am in a corporate office, dealing with corporate bullshit. And you got people out here that's living like that, So part of it is being unaware. Part of it, you got to go out there and figure out what's needed out there. What are people doing? You got to talk to people and figure out what's going on out there. And I'm so thankful and grateful that I went down to Panama City and see it for myself. It was sad to see people going through those types of things, because I walked into a lady's house and you can literally look up and look into the sky. So, people are going through trying times, but even in those trying times, there's massive amounts of opportunity for anyone who just take some time and learn about it first. You got companies like, I think it was called Service Master. I think that's like one of the largest ones, where they built a business. Literally, the whole business model is around chasing storms. Whatever services are needed, that's all they do is chase storms, and they make millions.
Well, Sword, my assumption is, listen, I hate to be rude about it, but when a motherfucker's hungry, has ambition, once, it gives himself a goal and say, hey, I want to be at this point in my life, I'm trying to get settled, like I got friends of mine, acquaintances, and people I've met in life that are doing really good, but they said, this is where I'm going to be. You got individuals that be like, yeah, but I'm not trying to be on the road for 3 to 6 months. I'm sorry, dude. Excuses are excuses. If you're hungry, you're gonna go find food to eat. If you're not hungry, you're gonna bitch and you don't got a steak at your plate.
Yeah, And I love dealing with home services people. That's about as real as you get, And being young at the time, it was just if I had to do it all over again, I would have went into the trades because the people, like, as a business owner, the majority of these guys are small businesses. They kind of operate off the model, I'll meet you where you are. If you're hungry and you really want to learn this, they will invest time in you, whether you went to school for it or not. If you show up, you fill out a job application, they're going to judge you on how integral you are. The job application really ain't going to matter. They don't give a damn because even if you learn skills somewhere else, they're going to have to retrain you on their methodology and how they do things. So if I was 18, if I wasn't playing football and I decided that I didn't want to go to college, if I had to do it all over again, I would have went right into the trades. Because by the time I turned 22, 23, 24, I would have been making six figures. And, probably would have started my own home services company. You got, in California, because that was one of my territories, you got one shop that might sell everything. So the culture of home services on the East Coast is different than the West Coast. On the East Coast, you might see someone who does HVAC. They may do plumbing or electrical. Shit, out there in California, you're doing roofing, siding, paving, plumbing, foundation. Like, they sell everything out there in California. And you'll go out there, and these businesses, they're humble. They got mad respect. They take care of you. And they just want somebody to figure out, like, hey, how can you help my business be better? I walk into $40 million operations, $80 million operations, and they're constantly trying to figure out, how can I get better? How can you help me grow, and things of that nature. So it's just, I love home improvement, and I wish more people would get involved. I'm actually working on getting involved with it as well.
Hey, Stuart, I want to touch bases with you on your project. Check the police budget, especially when it comes to like parks and recreation or any programs that deal with children community. I was volunteering with one of my local communities for like boys and girls program for our lower project communities. And when we started digging into it, dude, you had to go through the police because I wasn't aware of this. I'm sure you are. Maybe I'm just preaching nonsense, but we found out that like a lot of your community finances or additional funds is delegated through the police department for additional community programs for youth, anything in regards to youth community. And so with Atlanta, check your section's police budget, and you might have to go through them if you're trying to get grants.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. I was actually gonna head down there because I stay on the north side now. So, but my heart is on the east side. So I was just gonna walk up in the police station and tell them who I am and what I was looking to do. But I think your route will kind of help me out as well. I'm gonna start looking online, seeing if I can find some budget.
Yeah, it's about find out what the budget is. So get a FOIA. So I would say hit them up with a FOIA first because when you go in there, they're gonna bullshit. They're gonna send you to like the liaison or the servant that's good at saying politely. She's saying get fucked. But she's not going to use that word. So I would go in there. I would submit a FOIA first for that area, so that you actually have the digits. And then when they submit you to their liaison, I'm speaking on what we had to do. Because we got that polite go fuck yourself mentality, and so we hit it for you, and we said, hey, this is the margin that we need for the community program. This is what you submitted for your digits for the community. We're gonna submit to our to our city senator, our house as well, and also to our governor, and that we're not able to utilize these funds that are delegated to, because it's all delegated to the police department, because for some fucking reason, I don't know why.
Is it delegated to Erica Kirk as well? What happened to Charles Kirk's wife?
You okay? Amen.
No, I swear to God, you people need to make it common sense to the rest of us and the rest of the world. Like, we need to hear this. I need to hear.
He's up on the pub there, amen. But yeah, delegate. So hit a point first. That when you go in.
Is she cracking on authority? What's happening with her? Like, does that make?
So that's what I would say. That way you can present the data and be like, hey, this is a community this is the margin that we're looking for. And they usually backtrack really quick. That's how we was able to progress forward in our community after 7 attempts. Just so you know, Sword.
Okay, thank you.
So, amen. What country are you from?
No cracking.
What? You're not talking?
Isn't it cracking or no cracking? Like Erica Kirk. Like, it's not
Okay,
constant.
hold on. No, it's all right. Hold on. My question to you is, what country are you from?
I'm from Britain. I'm from the country that you all sent from the help.
Okay.
Where the help comes from. Yeah.
Okay, so you're from the United Kingdom. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, have you ever heard of the Great Divorce?
I ever heard about the Great Divorce. Who got divorced?
The United Kingdom and the
But who got divorced? Who was the Great Divorce?
I'm trying to explain it to you. The 13 colonies and King George III, who is part of the United Kingdom, we divorced that country and became the United States of America. Do you know the difference between the two countries?
Yeah, we understand that. You got divorced. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go with that.
We divorced ourselves from
Okay, and then you got rid of us. What that mean?
Yeah.
What that mean?
What that means is we don't look at our lives in the light of other individual Americans. We let other individual Americans do what they do. So for you to come up on the platform and talk about other Americans, which none of us ever met, you talk about the Kirk family like we all know them personally. We don't. So my question to you is, how do you explain who you are?
Oh, wait a minute. So you do not know the people that come from your own country. You do not realize that the problem that you already have. The rest of the world is so stupid that we are the ones that are pointing out the fingers at you. Are you a bit delusional? Where the delusion?
I'm gonna go back. Hold on.
Go ahead. Oh, tell me what a delusion.
No. I'm just having a conversation with you. My question is,
I'm just having a Kit Kat with you. You know what Kit Kat is, right? Okay.
All right. So let me make sure we're on the same page, okay? Because I'm just trying to make sure. You told us all that you're from the United Kingdom. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I'm no delusion.
Okay. So let me ask you a question right now. Currently, who is your king?
Charles.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question based on what you just said. King Charles is your king. Could you answer for us, all of us, as a subject of the United Kingdom, could you please explain to me your right as a subject of the United Kingdom? How do you operate as an independent human being?
How do you, wait. What do you mean? So do I have the ability to calculate with the United States of America? Do I have the rights to go around the rest of the world? Like, what does that mean? Do I have the authority to do my own bullshit?
No, what
what is the question that you asking? Is this an empty threat?
Okay, I'm trying to help you understand because you come up on the platform talking about someone that you never met. I'm trying to find out about you.
About America. No, I talk about you, individual. You, sir.
Wow.
You fucked up, sir. You. But you also, yeah. You black person, right? You as a whole black person. I know you. I'm not calculating you, but for some odd reason, you want that red, blue, and white, and whatever, right? That's your flag, right? Somehow, that is your thing. That is your personality.
Yeah, that's our flag, and we're proud of it.
A flag is your personality.
Americans, and we're fucking proud of it.
Proud to be an American. We're in the
Wow. Guys, did you hear her talk about our flag that way? Am I missing something?
Yeah, because I thought our flag was the same color. So you can fly our own flag in our country. You can't even hoist it on Main Street. You're fearful of it being offended.
We're talking about the rest of the world.
Hey man, what's the color of your flag? You can't even fly your English flag or jack in public places because it's a law not to offend fucking immigrants in your own country because they find it offensive.
Immigration comes from all the other flags too. It also comes from another flag. Another flag calculated for another flag.
Smart English person there.
Stupidity.
I think, hey man, stop by the pub on the way home. That's what it was.
At least we know how to drink responsible.
Parliamentary government with a figurehead of the crown who has no real power in terms of its domestic issues. You don't have responsibilities. In fact, you didn't have a choice. And now you're kowtowing to immigration status because you're afraid of actual terrorist attacks in there, rather than take a permanent stance and actually protect your own interests. So again, you should just sit down and shut up because America's been protecting your sorry asses since World War II. We rebuilt you. We helped you to fucking establish a foothold. And again, you haven't actually presented anything significant to the world outside of this. You've been a fourth world, third world country on and off since the fucking 60s. Like you haven't been anything useful except cause us problems in which we have to clean up the messes.
Amen. What third world country did you? Hold on a second. Amen. Hold on a second.
Hold on, Edward, for you to give some lecture to her. Like this is a drunk fucking Brit.
She's British. But what third world country are you from originally, Amen?
Great Britain.
Yeah. No, but I think she's from somewhere else beforehand.
So she's from a fifth world country. Migrated to a third world country.
So I'm guessing she's like Somalian or something.
They're Americans. Exactly the one.
Hold on. Shut your slip pipe, you fucking shut your slip pipe.
From the West End. Your accent gives West End vibes.
So are you from Somalia originally?
And claimed another country. But it's okay, Victor.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna until the liquor wears off, you just go ahead and stay in the audience. Mason. I've been listening. 2027. I've been listening off and on, in spurts, but then I hear this bitch yelling and oh wow.
I feel like I was on an episode of Monty Python.
But I don't understand people from England. They're not even a second world nation anymore. Like China and Russia fill that vacuum. England, you're a third to fourth world nation. Europe as a whole, maybe, but you did Brexit. So you are now most assuredly fourth. You are behind China and Russia. You're not a power player. You really don't provide real significant benefits outside of, moral support. I mean, we do exercises and we give you favorable trade deals, but really, in all honesty, your existence is kind of moot. And you created most of the problems around the world in which we face today. These are long-standing issues like the Middle East. Are a direct result of your fucking greed-mongering ways and thinking we got to make the world Britain. And in reality, we should have just shot you buck-toothed bandits way back when.
Edward, I don't think she understood the Great Divorce. We still stuck back there.
Yo, Ron's kicking the shit out of the U.S.
I'm like Sword. I really was. I was just polite. I really was, but she missed that whole point of the reason why we divorced Great Britain. I mean, we divorced them for a reason, guys, because they were not doing well.
Right.
Well, we divorced them the first time, and then we bent them over and made them our bitch the second time. And then finally, after World War II, we're like, all right, you guys are really struggling. We don't want you to be like fucking a shithole country. But again, they've sunk themselves. Their own policies, their own currency, their own internal domestic policies pretty much crushed them. To the point where I don't give a shit. Like, have a king, have anything, but your impact on the world is nothing anymore.
Amen.
Dude,
It's not putting fucking beans on toast. It's fucking disgusting.
She's a third world Somali whore her and her fucking people are being floated by the British taxpayers. Like, what? Don't even give her to even consider her British is a fucking insult. Like, really?
Wait, they put beans on toast? Is that what they eat out there?
Fuck yeah. They conquered 90. They conquered 90% of the world for spices and couldn't figure out how to fucking use them. It's so fucking retarded.
Yeah, they traveled all the way to my parents' country with boats, and they didn't know how to make money off those spices. Isn't that crazy? What a smart.
Their national dish is now tikka masala, chicken tikka masala. Because for fucking whatever reason, they can't come up with their own. Nobody wants to eat their shit. It's goop, by the way, is what they would fucking do. Oh, God.
Yo, Brad, how are those $2 million fees to pass to the Strait of Hormuz? How are those?
Fucking great.
You said $2 million fees?
Yeah, IRGC's a toll booth now.
Yeah, like the IRGC is going to see that $2 million.
They are.
Who paying the what they already?
Everybody that wants to run oil through the Hormuz is paying $2 million.
No, they're not. You should actually look a little deeper instead of going through TikTok headlines because, again, it's already been debunked.
You're a fucking
So wait, Rico, you saying they charging people to
provide the link? Provide the source and the link.
There's many. You can Google it. Just type it into Google.
I knew it.
All right, what should I type in?
Type it into Google.
What should I type in?
Fucking retard. Let's type up how much.
You don't have to actually say retard. I know I'm higher than you, and you think Rico and XLP is going to win at the end of the day. But you really, nobody's paying the IRGC.
IRGC.
Rico, what do I do?
I just Googled it real quick.
Just ask Grok who controls Hormuz.
What should I type in, Rico? I can Google it.
Just ask Grok who controls Hormuz. It's really that simple.
Who is Grok?
You don't know who Grok? Come on now, really?
He's using an AI out of Twitter to like tell him his answers instead of actually.
Oh, okay.
Use all your.
These guys don't think for themselves.
Some interesting answers.
I told you, Instagram, guys, that's all they do. They just take the Reddit post and say, oh, look, we're losing.
Grok's not Reddit.
Wait, so what is the claim that's being made that we're losing?
That Hormuz, IRGC runs Hormuz and they're charging $2 million a tank to get through.
Yeah, actually, Grok is Reddit because it has a built-in Reddit API, so it actually reads off of Twitter.
I thought for the time being, the problem is that they basically with the drones and other shit they make it too risky for people to travel through, and so they're only getting past to
no, but ships that pay in yuan are getting through.
Would they pay, or I think they're letting Chinese ships pass?
Yeah, they are.
But I think for the most part, everybody else is steering clear because they don't want to risk.
Yeah.
Anything came up with a insurance problem. That actually identifies them whole beyond their current insurance programs, which he's probably going to implement to help guarantee that transit. Italy is actually going to start jumping in and protecting in the Mediterranean to prevent any kind of fucking fire season.
Close on your space, American dipshit, retard.
They close their airspace, dipshit. We have a base there, you fucking moron. You fucking reject. You ever hear of Sigonella?
What a treasure you fucking retard.
You fucking moron. You piece of shit. This is a better Drop down your parents' legs. Because, quite frankly, you're a fucking idiot. Italy is cooperating. England, France, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Jordan, Egypt, all of these countries are actually cooperating with us. But you guys are fucking retarded.
Brad, you act like you're like a
fucking weird nuance.
You act like you're like a defense secretary, but you're like just like a shithead.
Fucking trying to go off of. So again, you're just a fucking idiot incel. Go back to sitting there saying black people are dumb, and that's about the biggest contribution you'll ever make. Say like that to prove how stupid you are.
But Italy did say I know obviously we have bases there, like we have the naval base in near Naples, and we have army base near the fuck is that? Forget the name of the place.
Sigonella.
But they have
we have port bases there. We have nuclear weapons there. We have SOF bases there.
Not any of that, but what came out in the news was the fucking Maloney, and it basically said that they cannot use the bases for strikes to Iran, so they would have to probably stage from Cyprus or some other place.
NATO's not putting up with this shit this time around. Like Spain's not.
Really, I'm so glad NATO's not putting up with it. So here's the funny thing, Pepe. They were never using Italy to launch the strikes. So that's the fun.
So they probably using Kuwait or Jordan.
We don't use it. So like this whole virtue signaling, like, hey, please don't blow up a terror thing. I guarantee you, Italy went, well, you can still use our ports.
Trump's begging Warsaw for THAAD missile systems. Trump's begging.
Idiots like this will just grab on because CNN posted a headline and thinks,
CNN's going by your team, bro. They read them.
And again, it's just, they don't read.
CNN's going by David Ellison.
Dude, shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck who owns CNN. It's fucking twat waffles like you that can't fucking read. But again, these idiots grab on and they don't even realize we weren't even formulating battle plans off of Italy. We weren't utilizing.
Trump asked Poland for a missile system because our THAAD got knocked out day 2. Like, we're getting our shit.
Rico, the guy that delivered the message from the Iranian parliament, his name is Aladdin.
And Warsaw told Trump to go fuck himself.
Really? Because Poland didn't just buy a shit ton of shit we haven't even developed, so I guarantee you Poland didn't tell him to go fuck himself.
The THAAD system got knocked out like day 2. And then Trump
the THAAD system is not knocked out. Do you understand how a THAAD system works?
They got decommissioned like fucking day 2.
Basically what happened is
to a guy who wants America to lose. He's literally, that's what he wants. Because the intelligence, if you read intelligence reports, watch a little bit of European news rather than just the stupid shit here in America, and they will talk about things that they know. And they're saying that America is being very pinpoint accurate. And boy, it's hard to be accurate if all your systems are fucking taken out and you're begging Poland for
Okay, so why are
no, they were asking Poland for assistance.
Here's the deal.
They weren't asking Poland assistance.
Why is IRGC charging tolls to get across what moves if that's the case?
Shit, Poland is happy to assist us.
No, they asked for the THAAD system. So they're like, nope, we're not doing this. So they think about the THAAD system.
Well, let me read what this article says. It says the Iranian. Now this goes to what you said, Rico. The Iranian embassy in India contradicted Aladdin's initial comments Monday, saying the claims were unfounded and reflected his views rather than the official position of Iran. So what do you think about that? It says the Iran. Let me put it in the chat so that way everybody can read it too. But basically, the guy Aladdin came out and said that they was finna start charging as much as $2 million, and then
IRGC running a toll booth.
Hold on,
like only red ships are getting through there.
Let me read the whole article. So you can see. So, all right, let me scroll back down. All right, it says the Iranian, and this is the last paragraph in this article from Yahoo. It says the Iranian embassy in India contradicted Aladdin's initial comments, saying the claims were unfounded and reflected his views rather than the official position of Iran.
It's called the lipstick on the pig, bro.
Well, we'll see you in Brent and WTI.
Oh, nah, we'll
prices.
see. Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's reflected in Brent prices.
So here's the deal. Brad. Literally, there's an open source satellite imagery company that it's been instructed to restrict and delay its imagery. And you can go look at the Daily Mail and any other outlets that have actually looked at this open source, right? Not controlled by the governments, but the governments have committed to restrict it because they're saying it's for operational security reasons, right? For information. But really, it's embarrassing because they're showing all these, THAAD or whatever type of other radar installations and fucking missiles and aircraft that are being fucking hit, that the Iranians are doing with precision and accuracy. And they're probably doing it with like a 50 grand drone and taking out $1 billion weapon system, right? Which is going to take years to replace. There's a fucking.
So how many weapon targets have they hit? How many targets have they hit?
You guys all fucking cheered on Diego Garcia, and that fucking guy shot down.
Let him go.
Like, this is ridiculous from these guys. They're all these, like, fucking incel fucking wannabes. And now you got the Irish fucking wannabe IRA guy coming on here. Tim fucking guy who got fucking booted like 8 million times.
He's a British man. He's from Northern Ireland.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's the British Irish man. A British man living in Ireland.
This nigger doesn't even know these stuff.
He's Northern Ireland.
Yeah, like you guys love
Those
that
are the
shit.
people the IRA wanted to kill.
Yeah, these are the guys who tried to get the car back.
Get back to the topic.
Yeah, so again, these guys hit like one fucking apartment building, and then all of a sudden it's like the failure of it, but they don't talk about the 21s that were fucking shot down.
What does it taste like?
I don't know. What is your mama's? I can tell you what your mama's vagina tastes like. I'm sorry I didn't leave you a sister.
I
am sorry I didn't do that. I guess maybe I should have probably not did anal with her.
But your little
again, fucking hey. Yeah, really? What are you gonna do, bitch? What are you gonna do, you British fucking faggot? What are you gonna do, wonky? You're gonna go order pizza on toast and think somehow you have intelligence? You're gonna fucking give me some red pill fucking theory that you're like, oh, satellite imagery shows me this. Even though you've never read a satellite report in your life, you can't fucking do it.
Never served.
You've never served. You've never served shit except for fucking serving your ass up to every faggot.
No, M did serve.
What the fuck would he know?
He served what? Served what?
He served in
under a fucking mess hole in the fucking children.
Wait, what did he serve in? Oh, wait. I mean, he served
in the Navy. I think, were you in the Navy or Army?
You're in the fucking rear with a gear, Brad. What the fuck have you ever done?
Oh, yeah, we're sure about that, bitch boy. You were fucking, if you served, you were a fucking cook. You ladled beans on toast. I ain't gonna shut the fuck up. You ain't gonna do shit, motherfucker. You ain't gonna do fucking shit except for fucking grave my balls as they drag across your face and fucking make you fucking wet inside. The most moist guys on here happen to be you and fucking this dipshit over here. So go on and tell me some more of your fucking bullshit as far as your fucking experience in the Middle East, because you ain't read shit. You don't know shit. You can't even explain what the THAAD system was. You didn't even fucking understand what it was. And you guys, again, benefit off of my fucking blood, sweat, and tears and can't have yours. But again, keep gurgling, keep swallowing that fucking ball taste in your mouth. Those are mine. They clang when I fucking walk. They're brass. They ding dong while I go, rather than yours sounding like little marbles in a sack. So you got that.
Why are you trying to out-talk them?
You can't do shit, man. Again, these like wannabe IRA fucking red cell, incel fucking people are fucking dumb. These are like fucking retarded people at any fucking planet. They have no facts. All they do is just fucking cry all day fucking long about how pathetic they really are. And then at the end of it, they want to cry some more about what didn't go on and who didn't fucking let them talk because they had freedom and they think they're smarter than everybody else. But in reality, you buck-toothed bandits are just sitting there fucking crying all day long about how big bad America is. America's going down. When in fact, we fucking won everything. We won your freedom. Sit down and shut the fuck up, you British guy living in Ireland. You don't have the opportunity to do so. You don't have anything to offer the world. The only thing you could offer the world is really basically swallowing fucking some other guy's load so they don't get fucking pregnant. The best thing you can do is not reproduce because I know I'm pro-abortion in this day and age because I want these guys, every woman should just be like using Drano and a plunger to flush them out with Roto-Rooter as a backup. That's how bad these guys need to die out. They're fucking retarded. They're fucking dumb. Like, how stupid are you?
In your ass, boy. That's right. So are you done?
You ain't fucking shit, man. You guys are fucking the day you were born. The day you oozed out of your mother like a fucking cream pie was the day you fucking actually became the highest you will ever be. The best part of you was dripping on the sheets. Mother got done filming her fucking gangbang. That's the best you ever did. You know what? That was the most highest you could ever achieve anything. You don't have it. I can do this all day.
Okay.
I got this shit. You got that? Nothing? You got nothing. And that meeting face to face, the best you got is you'll throw out the N-word. The best you got, N-word. That's the only thing you think you guys can say online. Oh, I'm going to say and think somehow I matter and I have intelligence. Shut up, N-word. Shut up, N-word. But you know what? You don't have intelligence. Because you know what I know? What these guys don't know is that you're a fucking weak, feckless little online warrior. You've never fucking met face to face. You never fought in your life. You lied about shit. You got exposed on this app. You were called bullshit time and time again. You got fucking played out, even by the Irish, even by people in Britain, where you got fucking packed up. In fact, I believe that occurred in Jason Muse's room. And you still fucking can't live that shit down. And then you came back under a different fucking character. And every time you do, you come back under a different character. Every time trying to actually think you have something intelligent to contribute and tell Americans what they ought to do. But you don't have anything to offer because you can't fucking do it. And like I said again, the best part of you, the highest you'll ever rise, is again a wet stain on the fucking mattress after your daddy fucking pulled out and went for milk. I'm sorry you grew up eating water with your cornflakes because daddy never came back home. But you don't have the excuse to be the feckless woman that you are. Anything more? Anything more you want to try to do? Anything else you want to try to do? Because you can't fucking beat me. You can't fucking top me. You can't do shit, motherfucker. Because you know what? I'm bigger, I'm tougher, I'm stronger, I'm faster, I'm fucking richer than you. And I have all that. And the best you can come up with is calling me a fucking nigger. That's the only thing you can ever fucking do. And you think somehow or another that somehow gives you a claim to high intelligence. It just shows how stupid you are, how fucking dumb you are, and how fucking retarded you actually become. Because that's the only thing you can ever do. You know, personally, guys like you are so and reach through your rectum, pull your spine out, and beat you down. I swear to God, your mama should have been skull fucked until she was dropped on the carpet, and then she could have fucking went. Dude, you don't have fucking shit. You're a fucking wannabe rapist. You're a fucking pedo or some other shit. Because that's what fucking Jason Muse fucking exposed, was you're full of shit and you're full of bullshit every fucking time. So again, you little fucking incel fucking pedo rings that always seem to couched in Christian nationalism seem to be popping up as pedos all the time I turn around. And it's usually you buck-toothed bandits that are over there wanting to put your little beans on some fucking... And that's all you guys ever fucking do. All you ever do. You don't have a fucking... You're never going to talk, dude. I'm not going to let you talk. I'm not going to do anything out there that's going to allow you to talk to Americans, because I quite frankly think you're probably the dumbest fucking idiot on here. So go back to chasing little kids in fucking Ireland or Scotland or Wales or wherever the fuck it is you're hiding these days, and go fucking keep going there until you get caught, because we know that you guys are nothing more than child rapists and fucking little wonky little fucking creepy fucks all the fucking time. You have been, you always will be. You guys were too stupid to even control an empire. You lost to a fucking guy who went on a hunger strike and managed to turn around and say, get the fuck out of my country. Why would we listen to any fucking idiot that came from Britain ever? You lost to a guy who did a peaceful fucking hunger strike Yep. And you couldn't even beat him. The guy was 100 pounds. You expect me to sit down there and back down to some English fucking person? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of this nation. Shut the fuck up. Go. Here's a good one. Go start your own room. Go start your own conspiracy room. Go start that whole bullshit again and see how long you last. You know what? I'm willing to bet you it's 10 minutes and you'll come back under a new name and new profile and you'll sound like this. No. The TAD system. It was gone. And the U.S. is going to lose everything. You guys are getting utterly destroyed by Iran. Fucking fifth world fucking nation. You guys are a third world, fourth world country to begin with. Actually, Iran may be tougher than England right now. It may be tougher than you. I would rather see the IRGC go against England, which is probably why you guys didn't want to go down there, is because you knew right off the bat you fucking faggots would get beat.
That's interesting. Now, if the U.S. decided that they wouldn't protect Europe, would y'all be able to do it on your own?
We've been living long too close too many. To be fair, France and you.
France and Poland probably could hold their own. The rest of the nation, England, couldn't hold shit.
That's right.
Didn't they get Trump to fuck off by stationing troops in NATO, in Greenland rather?
Nope. How could Poland tell Trump to fuck off on Greenland?
Because they put NATO troops in Greenland and then he fucks off.
No, that's not how it works. And Poland doesn't own Greenland. Dumbasses don't even know who owns fucking Greenland. It's Denmark.
Yeah, country.
Okay. So again, we still have troops there. We have bases there. Did you know that? We pull in ports there.
Negotiating in Poland.
No, he's not. You're not doing shit, dude. Again, you're not going to have any prominence. I'm going to keep backing you up because the only thing you said is the N-word, and you think somehow, yeah, I told you, that's all you guys got. That's your shock value.
Open source intelligence.
That's all you guys got is I'm going to say the N-word. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep saying it because
Okay, look, the potato nigger and the half potato nigger keep on arguing and screaming over each other. We cannot understand what's going on. I tried to let go, but you guys are just taking up all the space.
Oh, dude, I'm not letting him speak. I don't give a fuck.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't give a fuck. You ain't gonna get shit.
Yeah, well, I'm not
you ain't going anywhere, dude. Except down to the goo. Except down to the goo. I can promise that shit. And off the app, I know that much. I know that account split. I know that. I know that. I'm not reporting you, but I guarantee all those people in the audience already did.
Alright, I moved them down. It's just too much. We gotta keep going here. Unless you still want to play with them.
No, I don't.
Pause on that, by the way.
I'm gonna just play with his mama tonight.
Hey, didn't NATO send 13 soldiers to Greenland? Oh, that's big.
14. But the thing is that if you were, I know you served, right? If you heard America was coming to Greenland and you were in another country and somebody said to you, hey, Steffi, we're sending you and 13 other troops over there. Y'all are going to stop America. What do you think your value is to that country?
They're going to suck my dick or something? Yeah. But I'm just saying, dude, Greenland, we've had troops there. When they said, there's 30,000 troops, hello, we've had 30,000 troops in Greenland and on bases for the last 20 plus years? Maybe longer. For Brad, I'm sorry, Senior Chief, don't beat me up too much, but I think well over 20 years, we've had troops stationed in Greenland.
Shit, we prevented the invasion in World War II. We deflected multiple attempts by Russia during the Cold War to have basically footholds in that area. So, I'm confused. We do training out there all the time.
Don't kill me, Senior Chief. I was just a little unaware.
These guys act like there's something there. I know we do training because I was fucking there training. It sucks. But you guys apparently, all these incels who play Call of Duty all day seem to know, or some fucking British guy overseas who's on my Reddit forum or my Discord channel tells me otherwise, But yeah, we don't fucking do work in Greenland.
Hey, Brad, can I say something to the
And literally served in the Royal Navy, didn't he?
Hey, I just want to let you guys know, this is the way Brad is in military. We dread the day you gotta have a conversation with a senior chief, because when you bring stupid shit up, senior chief puts belt to ass. So, so guys, understand how he talks. That's what a senior chief is. So sorry, Brad, I had to put that out there. A lot of people think you're just being an asshole, but no, Brad's a great guy. That's, you bring bullshit up, you're gonna get a belt to ass.
And it's always amazing, Steppy, that a lot of these guys, and I don't knock like the Mats for not serving or anything like that, but it's always amazing that you got these guys on here saying the U.S. is losing. Look at, you lost Gulf War, you lost Afghanistan, and all these stuff. And I'm sitting there going, did we? Are you sure about that? And they're like, oh, yeah. Where's weapons of mass destruction? They don't realize that they were already fucking there. We took care of them. We knew they were there. It was a nice little play on words for fucking CNN and MSNBC. But again, these news networks don't even bother to follow through. And then when they sit there and tell us, oh, yeah, you guys got your asses beat, America's on the way down, they don't look at our kill ratios. They don't look at how many of the fucking people we fucking decimate and send to Davy Jones. No. When they're doing the outlets on MSNBC.
They don't look at the KDR. Like, when they bring up, like, the one I hate the most, when they bring up Vietnam, they say we lost Vietnam. I was like, bro, we did militarily, and we did not lose Vietnam. And they go, yes, we did. I said, bro, we had literally 12 days of fucking bombing. They literally 12 days of Christmas, some people will call it, and then at the end of it, they came to the table and said, okay, we're done. And then 3 years later, communists came back. And it's like the dumbest fucking thing when people say we lost Vietnam. It's the same thing when they say we lost Afghanistan. I was like, no, we did not lose Afghanistan. We maintained a presence there. And we were basically subtracting a massive footprint, So, Senior Chief, I agree with you on that.
Yeah, so still, it doesn't change the fact that there's $2 million fees to get through Hormuz. And the IRGC toll booths.
One paid. There's not even verified. It's just being reported that one is paid the $2 million. Number one. Number two, when we look at losing in America, we have a country who had a military. That country has no boat presence in the water. If you came to America, anybody, I would like to know who's parking their boats in the Gulf of America, who's parking their boats just off Miami Beach, who's parking their boats in the Hudson River, who's parking. Nobody is. Okay, but we've got our boats surrounding them. Their boats are not controlling the water. The reason that they have control is because they do still have missiles. And the reason they have missiles is because they reported 1,000 missiles a month. And the missiles we used to shoot them down, we were producing 6 to 7 a month. So guess what? You guys that say we should have gone in don't realize that everybody going back since they took office said we need to go in. They all said they were a problem. We all had president. Shit, the Secretary of State Hillary Clinton said it. She said she'd have gone and bombed their asses.
There's a Fox News link in the chat about $2 million a tanker.
And one has been reported to have done it. I just read that. So, guess what? The fact is this. You don't tell people, go ahead and go, because they do still have missiles, and they will strike because they're throwing a tantrum, and their neighbors are losing patience. But the reality is our planes are flying over there. Not a problem. They sent a Warthog in. You ain't sending a Warthog in if they've got some badass air defense. You're not doing it.
We sent the 31st. We've sent the Tripoli. We've sent, what do we got? Airborne going in, separate. We got those. 2 carrier groups, and various other attack squadrons.
I'm gonna buy some defense tanks. This is gonna be a little more.
Dude, the 29 Tucanas are in, and anybody knows what the Tucanas are. Dude, those are a single prop airplane that has basically, munitions 250 pounds. So
all their missile silos and drones are underground. It's gonna be a matter where they're at. Once they launch, we have them. That's the dumbest thing ever. We did capability studies. We even proved it with Diego Garcia. They can't do it. Like all of the stuff where the U.S. is losing, as soon as they pop their heads up and shoot, we have them. We know where they're at, and then we blow that shit to high hell. They can have it underground. It doesn't matter. We're hoping they shoot. We're asking them to shoot because we know that. And Bradley Cooper, who's the admiral in the region, who basically decimated their entire coastline and all of their navy, you clearly don't know any of that shit. You're just giving me Fox News headlines, and you didn't even read the article. It was MSNBC. Whatever, they're all the same. You're just reading fucking some article going by the headlines. You don't even read it. What was it? ICE read it and told you one is alleged to have paid, but they